showtime! Woo! 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 Silent and profiling. Woo! It's live and in color. Woo!
Welcome to the Mafia Sports Report on the Buffalo Fan Base Network. I'm your host, Tommy, to the highest degree, to the TOP from the 313. And by my side is my main man, my Toucan Sam, the one they call the Apex Man, Mr. Mikey. What's going on, brother?
What's up, bud? We got a special guest tonight.
We sure do. And joining us is Justice General from Buffalo Fan Base Network. What's going on, Justice?
What's up, y'all? Appreciate you having me on the show tonight. I'm excited. Always excited to work with you guys. So yeah, I'm ready to have some fun.
All right, man. I appreciate it. We got a hella show lined up, guys. So real quick in the comments, Jack, man, what's going on, brother? I appreciate you stopping by as usual, man. Jack's always up in the building, man.
Yep.
Yeah, let's go Buffalo for real. So guys, I just want to start off with a little bit of NFL news. You know, nothing crazy, but Clowney resigns with the Browns. Your guys' thoughts? Anyone's thoughts on the Clowney going back to the Browns? Mikey?
Predictable. I mean, I think it's been predicted since the end of the season. He had a couple offers that he spurned that were for long-term deals. He likes the one-year deal. Why would you not want to play across from Myles Garrett? I mean,
yeah,
he had one of his best years last year because everyone double teams Myles and he gets one-on-one coverage.
Yeah, no doubt. Justice, your thoughts on the Myles Garrett?
The Browns look like one of the more unpredictable teams right now. So we'll see what happens with them. I mean, it's not a bad signing. We'll see if it's significant, but I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that he doesn't really stay healthy. He had a decent season last season. I think he had 9 sacks, if I'm not mistaken. I'm pretty sure he had 9 last year. Am I right on that? Okay. Yeah. So the problem with Clowney is I feel like he's just one of those players where he has the skill, he just can't stay healthy. Like he just can't
or just doesn't try. His motor doesn't run at 100.
That's correct. He does take some plays off. It's just odd. And then also the Cardinals, Arizona Cardinals, they're going to be featured on HBO Hard Knocks, the in-season HBO Hard Knocks. So it's funny how they used to just be Hard Knocks in the offseason, which is the Lions, by the way. Now they do an in-season, which they did it for the Colts, by the way. Last season, the Colts missed the playoffs. So is Hard Knocks like it's just not good for teams? Like, is it a bad luck or what, Mikey? What do you think on that?
I don't know. Is it a curse? Kind of like the old Madden curse, you know?
Right.
you get stuck with the Hard Knocks, you don't win. Because last year it was the Colts, right?
Yeah, the in-season,
and they were supposed to be that team that took the next step after losing to the Bills in the first round of the playoffs, and then they just tanked. I mean, granted, they had Carson Wentz as the quarterback, but hey. Maybe.
That's on them. I mean, I didn't tell them to go out and get Wentz. The story was already written on Wentz. Like, why? What Frank Reich was thinking, I don't know. Justice, like, would you want to be on Hard Knocks, though, guys? Like, I'm just curious. Like, if they ever did come, like, is that a definite no for you guys?
Well, back when we were like in the drought and maybe we wanted something interesting to happen in Buffalo, sure. But as of right now, when we're competing for championships every year, then I'm pretty good on that.
Yeah,
we get the embedded. Right. We get the embedded series. I enjoy it. It's small.
That is great.
We get that. I cannot picture McDermott allowing camera crews in the building. That dude is the most secretive dude ever. Like, he gives up nothing.
Yeah,
nothing gets out of one Bill's best.
He fined Chris Brown for something minor. It was like
suspended him for 2 weeks.
That's what it was. Yeah. Like, dude, like, hey, buddy, we know you're on the One Bills channel, but we're gonna have to suspend you a couple times.
He's there. He's the Buffalo Bills reporter. He's like he's like their lead guy. And I think he said where someone lined up in the secondary. He's like Hayden Poyer lined up at the certain spot, and they suspended him for 2 weeks.
Daniel says more episodes embedded would be great. Yeah, the thing is that they just put a lot of like time in that, and I don't think it's as easy as just getting it out there. You know what I mean? Because I'm sure they could, but it's they're recording, and they got to edit. And there's a lot. I'm sure there's a lot more to it to just get them out week after week after week after week. But they do a phenomenal job. By the way, like Buffalo Bills, they have a phenomenal social media. Yeah, bro, they're PR really team. So good. So good.
You know who else has a really good PR team? Is the Chargers. I don't know if you saw the schedule release.
Yes.
They were ripping, dude. They were ripping teams, man.
Dude,
that was creative.
Especially the Browns one.
Yes.
Very creative. I gotta give them credit. Even the Lions, even though it was okay. They had some parts where they were creative as well. And Buffalo's usually creative. I got a lot of people mixed opinions on the Buffalo one this year.
This one was just really random.
It was so oddball.
Just Docs and Knox eating wings.
It was perfect for Buffalonians, but I don't think like the entire NFL landscape would have appreciated it the way we would.
Exactly. But it was exactly what Josh said at the end. Like, what does this mean? It was supposed to be like nothing, right? Like, what do you want us to do, right? But I liked it. I thought it was funny, creative. Just guys having fun. Like, if I'm Josh Allen, Dawson Knox, McKenzie, who else was on there? Sweeney and what was the defensive player? Settle. I would have loved, bro. I would have left there like
that. Tim Settle.
I
love his energy. Tim Settle's energy is just so great.
Amazing.
He's
like,
great.
who he kind of like in a way, like Phillips. Him and Jordan Phillips are kind of.
And Harrison, he's like a Jordan Phillips, Harrison Phillips mixture.
Exactly.
Yes.
He's very reserved, but just funny. Like, I love his energy.
Super high energy. And he has a high motor on the field, which goes with it. So that's perfect.
Yeah, Jack, I'm actually gonna I'm gonna try. But I'm going to try to get somebody to do like a Mafia minute.
Halftime shows?
Yeah, I used to do a Mafia minute would be great to do on that, which would be like a quick update, 10 minutes, and then, or whatever, 7 minutes and back to the game. So, Jack, be on the lookout for that.
We did them last year.
That one.
Yeah.
I like that.
Me and Tommy switched off last year when we were over it with hashtag on the game days. We would hop in and do it the halftime show with their play-by-play guy.
Yeah, it is fun. Moving on, Nick Foles signs with the Colts, so he reunites with Frank Reich. I think that's a good. Hey, listen, for quality backup. Yeah, very quality back. I would take him as a backup. What's your thoughts on Mikey?
I think that's a fantastic signing for them with Matt Ryan. Like, Matt Ryan usually plays all year. He's pretty durable, but he is starting to get up there in age. So having a backup who knows the system, has won with him, like. Foles is that underdog of all underdogs. When you expect him to be really good and be the starter, he doesn't flourish in that role. You ask him to come in and win you 4 or 6 games, or like, he can do that. But when you put all the pressure on him to be the starter, he just crumbles under the pressure. So,
Mikey, do me a favor.
Sure.
Do the math on this and tell me where we're at with your eye, and we'll get back to you on that, Scotty, because I got to see what we would have to average to get 500. You know what I mean? Justice, your thoughts on Nick Foles? You think that's a good signing?
Yeah, I think anytime you get a quarterback who you've seen do things in this league, you know what I mean? Nick Foles is a Super Bowl MVP. So whether or not he's a starter level quarterback, he has the capacity to lead you to a Super Bowl win. And that's another reason why I really like our signing, Case Keenum, because we've 100%. Seen him. You know what I mean? Lead that Vikings team to the NFC Championship with Stephon Diggs, and obviously that.
We lost Justice.
I like the Nick Foles signing. Anytime you can have the guy like that who could hold down the fort.
100%.
Did I cut out?
Yeah, for a quick second. You're back. You're back.
Oh, my bad.
And Tommy, to answer that question, it's 29.4 points per game. They hit 5. We're going over 500. Scotty, I'm with you. We're going over 500.
I think we are, because we're going to have some games where we score.
Justin's like 40. Very easily. We're going over 500.
We're definitely getting 30 a game for sure.
Yeah, exactly. And then I do got one more kind of big news. So the Washington football team, also known as now the Commanders.
Before you go with that,
go ahead. Go ahead.
Man pops in with a great one. and over on Facebook.
Okay.
Says Flacco is also an MVP. Everyone has a lucky day.
No, Nick Foles carried them. He carried the
Yeah,
Falcons.
Nick Foles was more than Nick Foles was more than just one game. Like once Wentz went down, he carried them through the playoffs.
And Flacco had one of the best defenses of all time.
So did Brad Johnson for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yeah,
exactly.
So did Trent Dilfer. Trent Dilfer won the Super Bowl with that defense.
The Eagles defense wasn't that good, and he was throwing dimes to like Alshon Jeffrey. So like, come on now,
right.
We got to get
yeah. And listen, I said when we initially signed Barkley, I was so mad. Like, I don't know if you were following me on Twitter at the time, Justin, but I was like, this is not good.
The first time we signed him.
No.
This was last time before
I was cool with
before
the first
we traded
time.
for Casey Keenum. Like
right.
he was upset. Like you talk about someone getting the blues. Tommy had the blues when he heard Barkley was coming back.
I don't know. The only reason I wasn't mad was because I figured we might draft a quarterback. So
which even me and Mikey talked about. I said, hey, it's possible we bring a guy in, or on UDFA possibly if we don't draft one. But once we did the Keenum thing, which was that was a steal. I mean, honestly, it was. He's a very good quality backup. So one season, I have a feeling Buffalo, that's going to be our like trademark. Like we're going to be getting 1-year guys throughout Allen's career. I think like I don't see us getting like a 3-year backup plan anytime soon. But we'll see. I could be wrong, but I just don't see it happening.
Yeah, it's gonna be Sam Darnold after next year when he wants to come hang out with his best friend.
Hey, it might be Baker.
I'm cool with that too.
Yeah, or Baker. It's gonna be one of those guys who have flamed out that want to restart their career. Like, especially if Trubisky does well this year.
Yeah, Trubisky does well. Yeah,
if he does well, it's going to be a spot people want to come learn from Josh, learn from the Bills coaching, be your best version of yourself, and reset your career.
And the good thing is,
it could also be Tua.
Oh no, I don't want no part of that guy. I want no part of that guy. Give me Barkley over Tua. I want no part of Tua.
Listen, I'll tell you what. A good thing about like having a quality, awesome number one quarterback is we won't have to worry about when backup quarterbacks go to teams and the fans start to cheer. They want that guy in, right? Like if your quarterback sucks. Like that will never happen, guys. So I'm cool with
Bridgewater's getting
called to start this year.
I'll guarantee you it happens.
Josh wasn't doing great to start this year, and there was no way like put Mitch in. So
I heard Barkley's name a few times. I think it was 2019. And I'm like, are you kidding me? On Twitter, people. I'm just like, really, guys, stop. So, God, I'll tell you, Twitter guys on Twitter, man. I'm on there, but man.
Jason N comes in and said he'd rather have Al Bundy than Tua.
Hey, he'll get you 5 touchdowns.
Right?
He will. One game. The last bit of news I was getting to was the Commanders, guys. So they bought a piece of land for $100 million. This ain't like 20 million
acres. 200 acres.
Right. So a huge piece of land in Virginia. And there's a lot of rumor out there that Dan Snyder is getting forced to sell the team because he's doing some shady stuff over there. Let's be real. So guys, Washington, a staple, a team that's been there forever, could possibly leave, man. What do you think the fans will?
I don't think they would leave. I think, buying that to build a stadium. Virginia isn't that far away from DC.
Yeah, but it ain't Washington. No. I mean, that's been there forever, Mikey. Like that,
It just, it's one of those things. I think they could move them. They call the New York Giants and they play in New Jersey.
I get
it. They call San Francisco 49ers and they play in Santa Clara.
Yeah, but
I don't mean to be disrespectful in any measure, okay? But I don't know when the Bills left Rich Stadium, but when did they leave Rich Stadium? And was it different when they went to Orchard Park, if you guys do know?
Rich Stadium is just a new name.
No.
It's been the same
stadium. So they initially,
wasn't it downtown or something? At the Rock Pile or something like that?
No, they initially played in, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Mikey, War Memorial?
War Memorial.
Something like that.
Okay, so that was the initial stadium. And then
was that in Buffalo?
Where was it, Mikey? I don't.
Sure.
Honestly, I got.
I've always been told it was like downtown Buffalo or something.
It was so long ago. But point is, it didn't hold any people.
Yeah.
And they wound up buying Ralph Wilson, which was Rich, and Rich was, I think, a food product in Buffalo for the longest time, Rich Foods or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then they were Rich Stadium forever, and then it became the Ralph Wilson Stadium, which stayed the same. And then obviously,
Scott Blakely hit you up.
Yes.
War Memorial, which was known as the Rock Pile.
Yes.
Okay.
And that was in Buffalo.
So it was on the east side.
Our chat always got our back. They'll fact check all day long.
Right. Your chat is pretty dope. I know Daniel used to be in all of my chats, but he don't rock with me no more.
East side, baby. Yeah, man. And then I guess our new stadium has, right across the street from a graveyard. So that's a little creepy, but it's just the way it goes, guys. Yep. I do want to touch base on something that was got Buffalo Bills Mafia kind of angry this week, which is John Feliciano's comments, which was they got what they deserved. And we had no attitude against the Chiefs in the playoff loss. So I'm going to start with you, Mikey. At first, I know you were like, but then you really had time to reflect on what he said. And I mean, do you think it was, what do you think on that? Like, do you think he regrets saying that now, or you think he's just selfish?
He didn't. He's a selfish guy in general. That came out in that whole interview. If you go back and listen to it, and knowing that Allen was his biggest, advocate, and then to say, they got what they deserved because there was no attitude. Did he watch the game? First off, the offense wasn't the reason we lost that game. It was, it was the last 13 seconds that was the reason we lost that game. And then they're talking about attitude. Josh got sacked, I think, once the entire game. And when he played the year before, I think he got sacked 7 times and had like 17 hurries. So I'm not exactly sure what he was trying to get at. Like, it would have been better if he was there, because it wasn't. We saw that the year before. So, it's just he's salty, man. And you hate to see it, because Mongo was one of those guys a lot of people loved.
Yeah.
He came in, he brought a nasty. Yeah, he came in, he brought a lot of nastiness. He protected Josh. And, did he not see Josh Allen going up and down the sideline screaming and yelling and flexing? And don't tell me there wasn't any nasty in there. Josh was the nasty. So I don't know.
Yeah,
I just he talking out of his behind. He's salty. He got cut.
Doesn't happen much. Yeah, that's kind of crazy. Justice, what's your thoughts on the whole Feliciano? I know you mentioned something on Twitter and got a lot of likes and comments.
Yeah, so. I honestly thought like he was gonna be on my DMs like delete it or I'm beat you or something. Like, but he just seems like that type of guy. I mean, I'm a different kind of fan. I'm almost 7 feet, so it's gonna be a different ending than he thinks. But anyway, my thoughts are like I understand the NFL, and I'm conscious that players get screwed over very often in the NFL, and I know that as a good football team, the Buffalo Bills are a good football team, and we have the best GM in the league. Tells me the GM probably isn't going to like do you any favors, all the time, especially not if you're like a superstar player, right? You're probably going to have to look out and be, have your contract in the best interest of the team. And so I feel like he was probably just salty that, they didn't want him anymore, or at least for not a price that he felt he deserved. And that's fine. However, to sit there and minimize the effort that your teammates of the last 2.5 years put in, just because you're mad that you got your spot taken. Like, if you were playing better than that guy, then it wouldn't have mattered. When you came back from injury, you would have got your spot back. But no, he came in and started balling, and you didn't ball when you were playing. So like, you got to eat that. Like, to sit there and say you deserved it, like, that is crazy. That is so disrespectful.
Yeah, dude. That was my whole point when I released the video or whatever. I got a clip of the video, I put it on Twitter, and people blew up. But
it's disrespectful to his teammates. Like,
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
I'm not. It wasn't even
guys.
Exactly, dude. Like,
can you imagine what the Giants guys are thinking now that don't know him? Thinking like, this guy just threw those dudes under the bus.
Yeah. So exactly. So I get that, but so here's the deal. How I saw it when he initially said it, and the first thing, I don't know why I thought, and I kept saying it, it's the whole Flutie thing to me. because it's a heartbreak. One, it's a heartbreaking loss. Okay, Music City Miracle almost was the same kind of outcome, right? You had the game won and just some fluke play, some 13 seconds, some crappy call that should have been called that didn't call for the Music City Miracle. Anyways, that'd be like Flutie saying, "Hey man, if I played, whatever, they got what they deserved." That would be the shittiest thing, and I would not even kind of blame Flutie so much because let's be honest, Flutie should have played, unlike Mongo, who shouldn't have played. Like, there was a reason why he got benched way earlier, by the way. And by the way, he blamed it. If you guys watch the whole interview, he did blame it on COVID, which that's not true because he was already playing bad the year before. In my opinion,
Deion Dawkins got over COVID.
Right, exactly. So I don't want to hear that nonsense. You got beat out, and it doesn't matter. It's a team game. At the end of the day, it's a team game because if there was an injury, you would have had to come in anyways. Whatever. Like, that's what you do. You back up your squad. This is a family, right? And that's why I put, man, you're not in the Bills Mafia family anymore. That's it. Because I always said a player leaves no matter what. When it comes, a player signs with Buffalo, no matter if it's 1 year and they leave, Buffalo will always love you, man. Bills Mafia embraces you as long as you don't shit on us, shit on the team, do something that's negative, right? And I felt like those words, they got what they deserved. That's it. That's it. Because if I'm Josh Allen, even though they're friends, I'd be like, "Hey, dude," like I definitely would have called and said, "What does that exactly mean?" Like,
can I ask you guys a question real quick?
Yeah, go for it.
Let's say that John Feliciano, in all his pomp and circumstance and who he is and his attitude and his aggression, like, imagine if he was, let's say, as talented as Deion Dawkins, right? Pro Bowl, offensive lineman, got your contract, you're the captain of the team, et cetera, right? Now, let's say Ryan Bates was the one who got his job took because he underperformed. Another guy came in and performed really, really well. And Ryan Bates left, and he said exactly what John Feliciano said. What do you guys think John Feliciano would have said to him or any other player that would have said what he said?
That's on you, bro. Pissed. Yeah, he wasn't pissed. He was like, that's on you.
Right? Feliciano, like, how dare you?
Yeah, dude. And Feliciano is very shout out, right? Like, he is a very, he don't bite his tongue, right? So to Justice's point, I think Feliciano would be on Twitter talking shit. I think he would be 100%. But I think because
he definitely would have been in that dude's DMs, like, "Hey, what the hell?"
100%. But because he got cut, he didn't play. He was salty. Let's be real, right? And there was money involved, right? At the end of the day, right? Like, he lost some money. So, but that's not on the Buffalo Bills. That's not on your teammates to say something crappy like that. And that's just a slap in the face. I don't care what because to his point, he was saying, "Oh, I was there for Gabe Davis and I was there for my team." But they got what are you talking about? So you're there for them or you're not? Were you secretly wanting them to lose so you could be happy? Like,
also,
that's a weird thing to say.
Wasn't that interesting that he said, "I was on Gabe's hip every time he got the touchdown"? But Josh is the one that threw those touchdown passes. So, like, do you think there's maybe some beef there? Like, do you think maybe he's mad at Josh for not pushing for him to
not having his back?
Yeah.
John Brown was. John Brown called Josh Allen out. Said, "I would be there if Josh wanted me."
I'm going to say no on that because I think they are still friends, but I don't know. Behind closed doors, we can only guess. I'm going to say no, but I'm going to tell you.
I like what Jason says in here. Jason in the chat says, "Always business, never personal."
That was personal though. What John Feliciano did was personal.
That's what I said.
That was a shot at his boys.
That's what I mean. So, like, I'm very curious how the players took it, though. They won't tell us, and that's cool. No, you'll never hear it.
Yeah,
we'll never know. But come on, like, if we're feeling this, like, I would say honestly, guys, 95% from when I tweeted that out were very pissed. Right,
I would
on
be
Twitter.
Interested to
out
know
of 40,000 people who look at that. So there's no way you're telling me the Buffalo Bills players weren't a little aggravated or thrown back. At least
let's take this, Tommy. Tommy, let's take this. What does Shane and Dayball feel? They were with us. We'll find out come training camp.
Bobby Johnson.
Yeah.
Who
benched him? It was Bobby Johnson's call.
Exactly.
Yeah, and he's there now. If he makes the team, by the way, guys.
So we'll find out really how they feel about him come this preseason.
And there's a reason, and not to dog him, because anyone who makes the NFL, I got it. I always give props to. Okay, so I'm not sitting here I'm not gonna shit on Mongo, because listen, he is in the NFL, but there's a reason why he's only getting 1 year deal.
Right? And same thing with John Brown. I like John Brown, but I mean,
so did I. 100%.
The fact that he couldn't even make a team was very telling. I was like, oh, well, maybe he's just not that good.
Very, very telling. Yeah, and maybe you lost a step, and that's okay. Yeah. Listen, this is a football. The career lifespan, I think it's like 3 years, something like that, 2.5, 3. So
2.5 years
to last even 5 is phenomenal. So like, there's nothing wrong with saying, hey, I just don't got it. Listen, Vontae, right? Quit at halftime. Hey man, I'm done. Like, I can't do it. So, it is what it is. So sometimes these players got to be honest with themselves, know what they can do now on the football field. And sometimes you gotta, let's just be real with yourself, man. But I understand, man, it's competitive. And sometimes, people feel like they're better than what they can be, I guess. I don't know. But in Mongo's situation, it wasn't about that. It's more about selfishness, in my opinion. And good luck to you, bud. But you're not in the Mafia anymore, bro. You're like that. I don't care how many letters you write like that. That's a wrap. It's over.
Yeah. Like the down goes Cowboys or Dallas guy or whatever. You came in and you ruined it. We can't accept you anymore.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. I like, how many players left Buffalo that got like a bad rap after? I know some people brought up Willis McGahee. He said something. I don't recall what McGahee did, but I know he says something like
Jonathan Whitner did.
Yeah, but I don't know if it was to this extent. And
it wasn't so much at the team,
like a team heartbreak loss like this.
It was more at the front office. Those shots were at the front office because Gilmore says I want to play on prime time. We weren't good enough.
Yeah, and I respect that,
especially because we sucked back then. But now
I respect that.
Yeah, we were probably going to win the Super Bowl if the defense does their job in the last 13 seconds. So to say that is just straight salt. Before, maybe they just didn't like being in Buffalo, which, I mean, it's cold. You probably don't know anybody, and the team sucked at the time. I could see it. Now, It's a completely different dynamic. Everybody loves everything and everybody about this. Like, yeah, it's completely different dynamic.
Yeah. For anyone that's saying, go ahead, Mikey.
Mandy comes in and says, he said I was the best running back ever. So when we let him go, he was a little salty that we let him go because he felt like he should have been here. But you have to remember, we went through last week. Yeah, so we went through the running backs last week. Like, we're going to go through down memory lane with the wide receivers this week. But, McGahee went out when we had Marshawn. And then right after Marshawn, it was C.J. Spiller. So it was like we kept drafting first-round running backs, year after year. Probably why we never got any good. We just kept drafting running backs.
Yeah, but
our running game was always good. It was just always quarterback. Always. And defense was always good too.
And coach and head coach, by the way. Tara always a bad head coach for up until now, and Marv Levy all the way up to
positions.
Yeah, exactly. So but moving on, man. I do want to we're gonna get into a trip down memory lane a little early because we got a whole thing to talk about the Buffalo Bills' greatest story ever told. Mikey, we're gonna go ahead and get you queued up for that. And let me see here if I got the cue for you. You know what? I don't have the cue, so go ahead. Let's just start it up, man.
Well, that's no problem. So we'll start year 2000. We had 2 receivers. We had Eric Moulds, who had 1,326 receiving yards, and Peerless Price, who had 762.
And what year is that again?
That was 2000.
Okay.
So 2000, 2001, and 2002 were all Price and Moulds. 2001, Moulds had 904, Price had 895. In 2002, Moulds had 1292, and Pierce Price had 1252.
Now, there's where I want to cut you off real quick, to talk about that. So, for anyone that really don't go back that far, that just started watching Buffalo Bills maybe a couple years back or whatever, 2002, that team, look up that team stat line, go out and look at that on offense. Listen, guys, we're talking about Diggs and Davis now being that 1-2. These guys, Moulds and Peerless Price, is exactly what we want now to happen, right, in 2022, right? So almost 1,300 combined yards. Not only that, Drew Bledsoe had almost 5,000 yards passing, and I know we're not talking about running backs, but Travis Henry on that same team had almost 1,500 yards rushing. That's a dynamic offense, guys.
Yeah.
Like, that's exactly what we're all talking about now, what we're trying to get to on offense, I'm saying, okay? But those two guys, and me and Mikey were talking about this earlier, Peerless Price winded up leaving or getting traded, actually, because we couldn't afford to pay. We knew we had to pay him.
Mhm.
And I'm very curious when Gabe Davis gets to that point, because that's what we want, right? We want that Peerless Price kind of season. Can we afford Gabe Davis? Because he's going to want some money, and that's where things start to get tricky when it comes to this team, because we have a lot of young talent whose deals are coming up eventually. So, anyways, Mike, I wanted to throw that out there for everybody.
No, that was perfect.
Yeah.
Eric Molds is one. Tommy stands on the table, jumping up and down for him.
Love Eric Molds.
Loves him and thinks he should be on the wall. Yeah, should be on the wall.
Should have been there.
Yeah.
Been there. Yep.
Yeah, he should have, because from 2000 to 2005 he led our team in receivings, and it was actually before that in the 90s he led our team in receivings as well. But 2002 we had the big year, so 2003 we had Bobby Shaw and Eric Molds. Eric Molds had 780, and Bobby Shaw had 732. Bobby Shaw, there's a name for you.
I remember him. I remember him
the
briefly.
name is recognizable, yeah.
Yeah, he wasn't with us long, though.
Yep. Then 2004, we had Eric Molds with 1,043, and we had Lee Evans, a young Lee Evans at 843.
Yep. Another Gabe Davis kind of 1-2 punch.
Yep. And then in 2005, which was Eric Molds last year, he had 816 yards, and Lee Evans had 743. Then 2006, it was just Lee Evans. Outside of Lee Evans, it was all tight ends and running backs. We had no other receiver in 2006 that went over 400 yards.
That's brutal.
Yes. And then in 2007, we had Lee Evans. Lee Evans and Josh Reed.
And Josh Reed used to drop all those passes.
Yep. Lee Evans had 849. Josh Reed had 578. Then in 2008,
what are quarterbacks at this juncture? Just to be.
What year are we in right now?
Thorough.
2007.
This
has to be a Trent Edwards, J.P. Lossman.
Lossman, Jeff Toole, Thad Lewis era.
This is when it was really going downhill.
And Lee Evans was probably like Wall of Fame talent. I don't think he got the quarterbacks.
And he had his best years with J.P.
And another real quick thing I want to throw out there before we continue. You guys got to remember, the quarterbacks on these teams, besides Drew Bledsoe, forget Drew Bledsoe because he only had the 1 year good year. They were pretty bad. We're going to be real. And
Fitz had 1 year too, but that's pretty much it.
Yeah, but for guys to like Eric Molds, for instance, the last on the team 10 seasons, and be on all these different quarterbacks and still put up good yards. That's why we're talking about what we're talking about. What we're going to be talking about later, because it really is like that's a player that should have came out and say they got what they deserve. Right? Those are the guys. I respect that.
Lee Evans had Wall of Fame talent, but Eric Molds probably had Hall of Fame talent, to be completely honest.
I think Lee Evans could have been better if he just would have had a better quarterback in Buffalo.
Right.
I mean, Lee Evans it'll always stick with him, the drop in Baltimore.
Oh,
but
forever.
Ultimately Lee Evans was an elite talent that we just squandered away.
Yeah, a lot of our players.
Yep. Yeah. So 2008. Yep. People keep moving through. 2008, it was Lee Evans and Josh Reed again. Lee Evans had 1,017 yards. Josh Reed had 597. And then in 2009 was the T.O. year. We had T.O. and Lee Evans.
One season, baby.
Yep. T.O. was targeted 109 times and only had 55 catches. Tells you how bad our quarterback was. Who was 50% catching?
Who was the quarterback? Was it Trent Edwards? I think it was Trent.
I think it was Trent that year.
Oh. I remember like week 7, I went into the game
Yikes.
And I was like, oh, we're probably about to lose. And then I was like, oh my God, that's right. We have Terrell Owens. Like, I don't know, where has this guy been all season?
Yeah. They couldn't get him the ball. They threw him 109 times and he only had 55 catches. But he had 55 catches for 829. Lee Evans that year had 96 targets for 44 catches. So neither one of them both of them were under 50% on their targets. And he had 612 yards. That was a horrible year.
Bro, you know who it was? I'm wrong. It was Fitzpatrick.
Fitzpatrick was 09?
Yeah.
Now that I think about it. Yes.
That sounds more.
Because I remember a replay of Fitz throwing him that like 70-yard, like one of his first games. It was like 65-yard touchdown.
Yep.
Fitz missed him that much?
Yeah, I guess.
I think that was after Fitz got his money when he just said F it.
Definitely. It was Fitzpatrick, bro. 100%.
Wow. Okay.
Yep.
Then in 2010, it was the spike of Stevie Johnson. He came onto the scene. It was Stevie Johnson and Lee Evans. Stevie Johnson had 1,073 yards. Lee Evans had 578. 2011 was Stevie Johnson and David Nelson. Remember David Nelson?
Yep.
I thought he was going to be okay, man.
Man, I wanted David Nelson so bad to be Jordy Nelson. Yeah. I wanted him so badly to be Jordy.
I like David Nelson. Yeah.
I did. I thought it'd be all right.
Stevie had the second of his 3 straight years of 1,000 yards. He had 1,004. David Nelson had 658 that year. And then we had Stevie Johnson and Donald Jones. The following year, 2012.
I interviewed Donald Jones a couple of weeks ago. That was really
I like Donald Jones. He was
Donald Jones was a great teammate. I loved having Donald.
He's a great guy. Yeah.
Really, he had 67 targets that year and he had 41 catches. Like, I think we should have targeted him more.
Yeah.
Because Stevie had 148 targets that year and Donald Jones had 67.
Stevie was the surprise, though, in this list that you're going through, considering where he was drafted. But go ahead, Mikey.
That's another Wall of Fame talent that didn't have a quarterback.
He's He's our last receiver with 3 straight
7th round pick.
Yeah,
7th round pick that just was one of those guys who had that quick feet separation. Would have excelled in today's NFL.
A cowgirl. Yeah. After he scored a touchdown in Dallas, he walked up and kissed her or something like
You're right. I forgot about that. I totally forgot about that.
Memory lane, man. It brings up all kinds of stuff.
Dude, I totally forgot about that. Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he talked about that. Yeah, he said he felt really ill.
Man, that's terrible.
Oh, that's horrible. Yep, and then in 2013. It was the rookie year, Robert Woods. So Stevie Johnson led the team with 597. He went from 1,046 to 597. It was a massive drop-off from 2012 to 2013. And then Robert Woods, his rookie year, had 587. And then it was the Sammy Watkins and Robert Woods show in 2014. Sammy had 982. Robert had 699.
I would love to know the games I played with Sammy because I'm sure they were like 10, right? 12.
Right. And then
always miss games, dude. Always.
And then in 2015, it was still the Sammy Watkins and Bobby Trees. Sammy had 1,047. Bobby had 552. And then 2017, it was Deontay Thompson. It was the only wide receiver who went over 400 yards.
Yep, I remember him.
And he had 430.
Because Josh was running for 100 yards.
No, that was 2017. That was Taylor.
That was Taylor. That was pre-Josh.
That was Tyrod.
Oh. That was Tyrod. Charles Clay led our team in receptions that year. Shady led our team in yards.
That's right. It was the tight end in the run game.
Yep. Shady had like 700 yards receiving. Shady was
it. Shady was the offense.
Tyrod ran too.
Yeah. Well, I thought Tyrod's the year before 2016 is when we initially got him, I believe. Or was it 2017? He had one really good season when he beat out the 2 other quarterbacks. He beat out Castle and Emmanuel and EJ, right?
Wasn't that 15 the year that Watkins went for 1,047?
I thought it was 16, but I could be wrong. It could be 15. It was Rex Ryan's first year. So whenever
I think it was 15. I think it was 15.
Okay, so
Rex was only there a couple years, and then they came.
You're right, 2 seasons. That's when he brought in his brother in 2016. Yeah. So it might have been 2015 is when Tyrod busted out on the scene, and Tyrod was a totally different player in 2016, like the year after. He just was different. But go ahead, Mikey. Sorry.
Yep. So it's all right. 2017 we only had one wide receiver make over 400 yards. It was Clay and Shady all day. Really
yeah, and we made the playoffs, by the way, guys.
Yeah, that's crazy,
which is amazing.
That's how good our defense was.
Right.
And then not
100%.
only that, but in the playoffs, if we had any type of wide receiver talent at all, we would have won that game versus the Jaguars.
Who the Jaguars wound up going to the AFC Championship game. So they weren't that bad for anyone making fun of us in 2017 because we almost beat a team that made it all the way to the AFC Championship game.
Right.
We should have beaten them. Tyrod got hurt. You know, Nathan Peterman comes in and, of course, throws an interception.
Throws a pick to Ramsey, and that was game.
Yeah, that is it.
That's what Peterman does. He comes in and throws an interception.
True
That's what he
Nathan
does.
fashion.
I was like, game over. Dude, when that happened, I'm like, no, that's it.
Yep.
It's over.
So then 2018 was Josh Allen's first year, and it was Robert Foster and Zay Jones. Zay Jones led the team with 652. Robert Foster had 541. But Robert Foster didn't show up until like mid-season.
Yeah. And by the way, to cut you off real quick, I actually went to the 2018 Josh Allen's rookie year against the Lions in Buffalo. I think it was like week 15 or 16 or something like that. It was one of the towards the end of the season, but I saw Robert Foster get the touchdown pass. I think was the only one in that game. But Robert Foster, I remember a lot of fans of following year were like, okay, all right, okay.
He showed big playability.
He did nothing in training camp.
We brought in real wide receivers and realized how bad it really was in 2017 or 2018.
It was him and McKenzie really fighting for that last spot. And McKenzie
thank God, yes.
Him out. Yeah.
Thank God, yes, that we got McKenzie from Denver that year.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people forgot about that. He's our longest tenured receiver on the team. It's McKenzie, and we got lucky. I'll be honest with you. We got really lucky getting him. I think we got him off the practice squad. I think we wound up picking him up off.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Mikey.
Yep. Then in 2019, it was John Brown and Cole Beasley. Brown had 1,060. Beasley had 778.
Yep.
2020 was Diggs and Beasley. Diggs had 1,535, which set the record for Buffalo Bills franchise. And Beasley had 967, and he would have broke the 1,000-yard barrier if he didn't break his leg.
Yeah, 100%.
They left him in to play with Matt Barkley, and Barkley threw him a ball that one hopped, and he tried to stop and broke his leg.
Yeah, he would have definitely got it.
And then 2021, it was Diggs and Beasley again. Diggs had 1,225, and Beasley had 693. So that takes us down memory lane.
Yeah, awesome job, Mikey. Listen, I mean, we've done this now since we started up on these.
We started with the GM head coach.
Yeah.
Then we did quarterback, and then we did a bunch of draft ones around first round, second round, third round, and then we came back and did running back and now wide receiver.
So so far out of the list, Mikey, if we're gonna be real here. The worst has been probably coaches and then quarterbacks.
GM head coach has been the worst by far.
Yes.
I mean, that was worse than the quarterbacks. Even with the quarterbacks, we had some really good. We had like Bledsoe one year, and Fitzmagic had some couple good years.
Yes.
But like our GM head coaches have been bad until McDermott showed
when
up.
you go through the list, guys, like if you ever catch back up with an older episode. Oh man, dude, it's depressing.
And to be fair, I'm gonna shoot Tyrod a little bit of bail here. Okay, I know the passing numbers don't look great. Yeah, he was really dynamic runner. I think he helped win us a lot of games.
I never. Mikey agrees with me. He knows me. I always give Tyrod props. I was screaming.
I run into so many people that hate him.
No. He's the quarterback that broke the drought.
And not only that, but
he
was a top 2 drought quarterback. Like all those bums we saw. Why are you mad at him? Like
a team guy, a team player. Mm-hmm. One, never complain, which he still doesn't, right? Right. A guy that earned the job, right? He wasn't like we drafted him number 1 and they're like, oh, he's okay. But no, he was a guy that came from Baltimore. We wasn't expected to start. He outdueled everybody else, played. I thought he did a very good job his first year. I was like, damn, this guy can run. He had a good deep ball.
I remembered him from Vautech. He just sat behind Flacco for so many years.
Yeah.
And finally got a shot.
But either way, I did. Listen, he wasn't the best, but I thought he was very. I think he was a serviceable
quarterback. You could win with Tyrod Taylor. You could win with Tyrod Taylor.
He's a high-end backup, low-end starter, in my opinion.
Yep.
Yeah. And he's gotten really bad luck, by the way, guys. Like
really bad luck. Like Percy hurts his wrist in Cleveland, and then the Chargers tried to assassinate him. And then he goes to Houston, and he gets injured there. After in all three situations, he was playing well to start. And he just got like horrible.
The Cleveland situation. He was never. Listen, when I knew when he got signed with Cleveland, I said right away, he's going to hate it because they're going to draft whoever it was. This is before Baker. I'm like, they're going to be typical
that was
team.
The Baker year.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, but I knew before they drafted him when they signed him. I'm like, he
didn't sign him. We traded him there.
Yeah, he's done because what's going to happen is they're going to boo him. They're going to want. That's just how it is. They're going to want their young guy in there.
Absolutely right.
And bad game he gets, they're going to boo him. The coach is going to be like, "Oh, what do I do?" And that's it. And that's exactly what happened, pretty much.
Yeah.
Well, he got hurt. He never saw. Yeah, but he could have saw the field. You don't. That's one thing you can't. I hate when players get hurt and don't get.
Think about how good that he could have been with that offensive line and that running game. Like that's the 100%. Thing. Like Tyrod is very serviceable. He'll make the right play. He won't turn the ball over.
Too. By the way,
they
had a terrible coach.
Yeah, and he won't turn the ball over. So if you give him a strong running game, and then he also had like Jarvis that year, so he had receivers. Like he could have done well there.
Yeah, 100%.
I also think he's really underrated in terms of like his leadership skill, his professionalism. Like he's been put in awful situations quarterback wise. He has no stability at all, and he comes in every day, he goes to work, he goes in early, comes out late. I've heard so many amazing things about character, so
that's why I always say, man, especially during the drought years, like we got to start showing some love for some of these players that gutted it out, gave everything they had, put up numbers, like did everything they could to help this team, stayed with the team. And they were in a no-win situation.
You know what's a good way to do that, Tommy?
Yeah. Oh, I know. And
Top
guys,
100.
yeah, we have a huge announcement. We're gonna do it now, but you guys, just keep watching.
My bad. I'm sorry.
No, that's all right. That's okay. Justice early.
I suck. I'm so sorry.
Justice kind of threw a little hint out there. So if y'all missed it. Y'all missed it. That ain't on me.
You have to catch on the replay.
It's coming up. Yeah, look for a trailer. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You get a trailer. Oh yeah.
So after mini camps, when the Bills go on break, Tommy and Buffalo fan base has something that we're gonna do that's gonna be real fun. So keep your eyes out. Keep it peeled. It's coming.
Yep. Oh, it's coming. It's coming. I do want to quickly do a shout out because I like to do these kind of mid show to the Buffalo Fan Base Network, guys. Big things are coming out of this network. As you guys know, we just started this thing kind of back up probably what would you say, Jess, about 3 months ago? Really kind of got it rolling back 3-4 months? I
got the commission February 18th, something like that. That's when I got the call, something like that. So yeah.
About 3 months. Okay. So guys, we are building a phenomenal team. Shout out to Mookie Hawkins, Woofo Sports on Twitter. If you don't know Mookie Hawkins, I don't know what you guys been watching.
Are you a Bills fan?
Right, exactly. So
also Robin Mundy as well.
Yeah, Justice, actually, I want you because you know a little bit more about Buffalo fan base and all the content. Guys, I know a few, but I want you to just kind of give everybody a shout out right now on who's all involved with the fan base, man.
Absolutely. So start at the top, like my man Tommy said. Coach Mookie Hawkins, amazing Auntie Robin Mundy, oh my God, phenomenal people first and foremost. Okay, great leaders. They're super supportive, super welcoming. And then I could just run down the list a little bit. We got the Wandering Buffalo. Oh my God, a couple extremely talented guys. I can't even say kids because I recently found out they're older than me. So, but yeah, Wandering Buffalo's great. You got Overdue Bills podcast. They do a live show. Of course, the Mafia Sports Report, as you guys already know, as you're watching how amazing these guys are. And then you have my show, Justice for All. We've got Fan Base Sports that's on Tuesdays as well.
Jarek, good guy, great guy, actually.
Yep, and
really
Kyrie
nice
Demos, awesome people. Like here at the Fan Base, we really just have a collection of amazing people who just happen to be great content creators as well. So we love everybody over here. Wednesday we have Home Field Advantage, my man Michael Lisman, the Caveman. Thursdays we have Ryan Takes Sports Podcast. Ryan is a great guy as well. And my man Jake Jordan is the Lowdown on Fridays, as well as First Round Bye. We also have Jason Malloy on Saturdays with Bankit. We got a lot of new shows coming as well. Let me see if I'm forgetting anybody.
There's a lot, guys.
Yeah, there's a lot. I'm so sorry. If I did forget anybody, I'm so sorry. But
this ain't the drought year. Like we are building.
There's and then like I said, there's new shows coming. We're still growing. We're still building. We're still, we haven't even launched yet, guys, and we already have built like this crazy, following. People are really engaged. And listen, when I tell you guys, and I'll talk to Tommy and Alex a little bit about it after. Tommy and Mikey. Why did I say it's the apex? It threw me off a little bit. Tommy and Mikey a little bit about it later. But when we do launch, guys, it's gonna be special. Okay, so make sure you guys are looking out for that because big things are coming.
Yeah. And shout out real quick too to Jake Jordan, who does all of our thumbnails. I come up with my ideas, guys. Me and Mikey, and we brainstorm. And I have a very weird and creative mind, but Jake puts it together, right? Like I throw it to Jake. I say, this is what I'm thinking. And Jake Jordan comes up with just his own spin to it. And I absolutely love it. And big shout out to him. And
Jake is a phenomenal guy. Oh my God.
Yeah. Really nice guy.
Couldn't do this without Jake, man. Jake is my guy.
Yeah. So that's my quick shout outs. And I hope you guys subscribe to Buffalo Fan Base on YouTube as well. And obviously, if you're not signed up to their Twitter or subscribe, then come on, get with it. The official Bills Mafia Twitter. Come on.
The Mafia Minute is also coming. So absolutely, please subscribe to the YouTube because it's all coming. It's all coming.
So guys, the main topic of this show that everybody kind of was here to watch and hear us talk about.
What, they're not here to look at me? I thought they're here to look at me.
Is Mikey. So we're just going to go full screen on Mikey the whole time. Me and Justice are going to bounce. We're just going to see Mikey drink water all the rest of the night.
Right?
All right,
there we go. We're good.
I was thinking the other day, is the Buffalo Bills the greatest football story ever told? And I put question mark to be continued because the story's not done yet, and it can't be the greatest story told until we finally get that one thing we've been wanting, which is a Super Bowl win. Not to get there, we've been there. But it's a hell of a story, guys. And yes, there's other stories that are awesome, like the Saints story, right? Hurricane Katrina. They went out and they won a Super Bowl after. Drew Brees. That's a good feel-good story. But I think what Buffalo Bills have gone through as an organization, city of Buffalo, just in general. If we win a Super Bowl, guys, like that has to be
not if when we win a Super Bowl.
It's going to happen. I apologize. If it's going to happen when we win a Super Bowl, which will happen, it will be the greatest football story ever told, in my opinion. So I want to start this off real quick, and we're going to start off in the 83 because I'm not going to go back in the 60s, and I apologize for anybody that started watching in 65 or whatever. Like, I apologize. The Jack.
Hey, we won the AFC Championship in 65.
Right. We did. So the AFL or whatever. Yeah. Kudos to that team.
AFC. It was definitely AFL.
Mandy comes in with a fantastic comment, Tommy. Make sure you click on Mandy's comment.
Yeah, I got you. Go.
So the third world country thinks the Bills are the greatest team ever with all those pre-printed shirts that get sent over there.
Listen, that's a great comment. And you know what's so funny? Real quick before we get into this. So that's a great comment. That's why SNL forever. Anyone, by the way, it's gotten terrible, but back in the day, SNL.
I like SNL.
It is good, but it's not as good as it was back in the day.
For sure.
90s SNL was the best, and then early 2000s was with Will Ferrell on it. Anyways, they had a skit where it was real quick where like it was like one of those skits where like they're trying to get like they go to a poor country and the guy's like walking around. He's like, for only 10 cents a day. So he's walking around and it's a guy walking by with a Buffalo Bills Super Bowl shirt. Like we won the Super Bowl or whatever. And I'm like, yo, that's great. That's really funny. So yeah, to Mandy's point, I'm like, yeah, that because they do print that. It's true. They print.
I need to find me one of those somewhere.
Seriously,
and wear it. 1990.
I would literally wear those.
Super Bowl
Absolutely,
champions.
We need to find us. Nowadays with the way things are out there and eBay and stuff, there's got to be one sitting somewhere.
I get one for every
Someone's
year.
got one.
I get one every year, and I just rock it whenever I go.
Like some third world country is rocking a Bengals one right now.
Oh, that's true. Oh my God. But anyways, let me get back to this. So 1983, guys. One of the greatest drafts, by the way, ever, quarterback wise. You got Jim Kelly, you got Dan Marino, John Elway, like really good. I'm sure I'm missing some players. I think was it Vinny? There was somebody else that was really good in that draft too, another quarterback. Anyways, no, maybe it wasn't Testaverde. I think it was the Bengals quarterback. I could be wrong. Anyways, Buffalo drafts Jim Kelly 14th overall.
Achilles Smith?
As we all know, huh?
Was it Achilles Smith?
No, not in 83.
It was 83.
I think it was Boomer. Wasn't it Boomer?
It was Boomer.
Then?
Yeah, it was Boomer. So, but it was a really good draft. Like it was like one of the best quarterback drafts ever. So Jim Kelly gets drafted, as everybody knows by now. Jim Kelly did not want to be a Buffalo Bill. So much.
Ken O'Brien. Sorry, it's Ken O'Brien.
It's Ken. Okay.
It's Ken O'Brien.
Yeah. See, that's bad. So bad. He signed with the USFL. So we had no Jim Kelly. However, USFL went down. 1986, we had Jim Kelly's rights to sign him. Since we drafted him in 83, he signs with the Buffalo Bills. Huge contract. I think at the time was one of the biggest, if I recall, just to come to Buffalo. That's how much he despised playing.
Wait, so there were 3 years Jim Kelly could have played for us and didn't?
Yeah, correct. He won. I think he won MVP for USFL. And you know what's funny? He actually said when he was like going, where do I want to play? Do I want to play in a dome where I'm playing the dome? So he went to the dome. Yeah, it is what it is. Listen, yeah. Go ahead, Mikey. Go ahead.
No, it's it's crazy to think that that's how he thought about it. Do I want to play in a dome or do I want to play in cold? But it is what it is. He made his decision, and then got his money, got his bag, because the USFL paid him. They paid him big to come, and then then he came back. Then he came to his senses and came over to Buffalo.
Jason coming in says places that make glass beer mugs made a misprint of mugs saying Buffalo Super Bowl champions for the Buffalo Redskins Super Bowl. And they literally just gave them to a friend of mine who worked there. That's great. I would love to see it. Jason, if you can get a picture of that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Please send it to any of our Twitters, Tommy Talks Bills or Apex. I got to see it. I have to see that, please. But anyways, Kelly got the biggest NFL contract. And that's what happens, guys. And we talked about this before. When the Buffalo Bills were bad, which we were bad, by the way, that was a bad Buffalo Bills team back in the 80s. This is what we had to do to get a good player here. We had to sign him, and we did it. And by the way, that, we'll get to that in a minute, Super Bowl eras. But 86, so we signed him. 88 comes around, guys. We lose to the Bengals in the AFC Championship game, 35-21. Icky Woods, the Icky Shuffle runs crazy on us. And we were 12-4 that year, by the way. That was a good year in 1988. So you guys recall that year, or you weren't really watching just at the time because you were a youngin', right?
Yeah, I think I was like minus 7 years old. Yeah.
And what was it? 80,
you don't recall in your prior life?
Wait, 83?
83? I was...
No, 88. 88.
Yeah, minus 7 years old. Yeah.
I was really like 7 because I was born in December of 80. So I was like 7.
You're 7? Okay. I don't recall this one. though I started watching in 89. So, and that's where we get next. So 89. This is when I watched, and it was the playoffs because it was my mom's boyfriend, and he had the TV on. I'm like, who is this cool looking team? It's the Buffalo Bills, and they lost to the Browns 34-30. And the Bills were 9-7 that year, so they barely made the playoffs, but they lost 89. And I remember Jim Kelly. I remember they were so pissed, guys, because they just came off a 12-4 year. It was a very good year. So 12-4 to 9-7, and getting booted right away. It was like a backstep, right? So people were pissed at Buffalo. Like, if I recall that, I do recall the offseason there. And people weren't happy in Buffalo at all. Now, here we go. So 1990, Buffalo Bills bounce back. Jim Kelly goes, all right, I heard the noise. We heard it, and now we're coming for you. 13-3. It's a great year. Buffalo makes it to the Super Bowl. We were favored in the Super Bowl. In my opinion, it was the only Super Bowl we should have won, to be honest with you. We were the better team, in my opinion. Wide right happens, 47 yards. By the way, a lot of people they think that kick was short. 47 yards, guys. I mean, I'm not saying he shouldn't, he should have made it, but that's not an easy field goal. 47 yards.
Long back then.
Right. That's right. There weren't kickers kicking 65 or.
It wasn't a chip shot by any means.
Right. Now, and by the way, he wasn't a bad kicker at all, because I believe the following year he got us to kick the game-winning field goal to get us to the next round. Mm-hmm. So he was not a bad kicker. Just missed the big one, and we lost 20-19. Do you guys? I know you were negative 5 at this point. Mikey, do you recall that, or were you
I do. That was the first year I started watching, because I played sports, but I didn't really watch football that much. That year was the first year I really got into the NFL. And we had the Super Bowl party, and I remember it, and we had a couple friends over who were Giants fans, and they were just talking mad crap, and I bet on the Bills. I'm like, I bet you the Bills will win. I didn't really know at the time. I was 9, so that was the start. This was the start of my love fest for Buffalo, because I always wanted the underdog, the guy who that I wanted that story. This was also the same time the San Francisco 49ers backstabbed Ronnie Lott and Joe Montana. And I couldn't root for a team who would do that to their stars. So right. That's kind of how I fell in love with the Bills, was during this time. So yeah, I do remember it. I remember it vividly. The next year was the big year that really started following the Bills with the Redskins.
Yeah, which we'll get to now. So 91, which was what Mikey's talking about. Super Bowl loss. We got there. We lost 37-24. We got spanked. They were up, I believe, 24-0 at one point. It wasn't even close. We were kind of coming back, and then Washington just went on like an 80-yard tear that just pretty much sealed the game.
My stepdad was a diehard Redskins fan, Washington fan.
By the way,
I bet him
13-3 that year.
Yeah,
we weren't like a sloppy team.
That year is when I really started following the Bills, and I bet him that we won, and I lost. I had to wash the car.
By the way, by the way, so let me tell you guys too, that Super Bowl, we were 13-3 that season. The Washington Redskins at the time, I'm sorry, I don't want to offend anybody, but that was the name at the time. They were 14-2. Like, that was a lot of people, in the NFL world consider that team one of the best football teams of all time. Like, up there, they're one of the best that year.
That offensive line was one of the best offensive lines.
Their defense, their offense, like their quarterback, who just had a phenomenal year. Like, you can't take it away from him. Like, that season, he was very good. And
that was the Art Monk year. Art Monk broke onto the scene, and it was just
had no chance.
And that offensive line is what led that whole thing.
Hogs. Hogs. That's where they got it from. Like, that was a mean team. We had I think was it that game? There was one game where we had 9 turnovers. I think it was the Cowboys game. That's another one.
Yeah.
But
the first Cowboys game.
Oof. So I remember now, mind you, I've been watching now playoff loss for me, then a Super Bowl loss to the Giants, now another Super Bowl loss to the Redskins. So I'm like, oh, this is so heartbreaking. I didn't know football could be so heartbreaking, right? I'm just a little kid, man. Like, I was young. I think I was in like middle school maybe at this time. So, all right. I'm like, okay. So I remember my mom's boyfriend. Mind you, I lived in Florida, guys, at the time. And the one thing they hated, there was a big rivalry between us and the Dolphins because we always kicked the Dolphins out. Like, Dan Marino was legit, but they could never beat us. Like, they could never, because we were the team standing in everyone's way to the Super Bowl in the AFC. Like people legit hated us. Like, the world was starting to hate the Buffalo Bills because we were always good going to the Super Bowl, but it wasn't our fault. Them beat us. So we go there again.
Kind of like the Chiefs. They won one, but they know how to keep losing. It's like they lose every year in the Super Bowl.
Exactly. So 91, we go again, third straight year. I'm sorry, 92. Sorry, 92, third straight year. Now that year, Mikey, I know you remember this, and I remember this like it was yesterday. Wild card game. And Justice, I know you're young, but I'm sure you've heard about this, saw this on video. The greatest comeback in NFL history.
That was not led by Jim Kelly.
Not led by Jim Kelly, who was hurt the last game of the season. We were down 35-3. I mean, that's unbelievable. I'll never forget that day. I was sitting on the couch and Frank Reich came out of halftime through that interception that made it 35-3. And I remember my mom's boyfriend going, "It's over." He walked away, and I can't leave until it says 0. I can't. Like it's something in my brain. Like you just never know. Right?
Believe.
So, yeah. And I'm going down with the ship. However it is, I'm going down. Go ahead, Mikey.
I will tell you that story. I did not watch the comeback.
Oh,
my dad took me and my brother to Chuck E. Cheese after halftime. He's like, because he's my real dad is a diehard Cowboys fan. And he's like, I'm not gonna make you sit here and watch this. Come on, let's go. I'm gonna take you to do something fun.
I don't blame him. Yeah, that is
like,
nice.
He's like,
I'm not gonna let you suffer.
I'm not gonna let you be like down. Let's go do something fun. So he took us up to Chuck E. Cheese and we had pizza and played. And then we came out and I found out we came back and won. Oh man, I lost my crap.
He blessed you and cursed you all in one.
Yep.
Yes, sir. Oh, Mikey, so you do remember that's kind of a good story too.
I do. I remember I was at Chuck E. Cheese when I got the word that the Bills, like, people were losing their minds that this game was going on, and then they had one TV over in the corner that they turned on, so I got to watch the end of it. But yeah, I was at Chuck E. Cheese.
People actually left the stadium and we're trying to get back. Like, we're driving and turn around, like, halfway home. We're like, and they were trying to get in. I think they let some people in, or some people forced their way in. But I would have been the guy staying in the stadium if I was old enough at the time or whatever, because I refuse to leave games. And Mikey knows me on the Tampa game, even though we didn't win it this past season. Right? I was like, nope, no, I'm watching. It's
going to happen. We're going to come back second half. He was all about it. We're going to do it in the second half. It's going to happen. Watch.
Like, okay. In that sense, I'm the same way. In that game, I was just like, nope, we're not Super Bowl contenders. We're not even playoff contenders. I was so pissed. Right?
I was
and then I was just like, you know what? Let me watch the second half just in case. Like, oh, you never know what it happens. Yeah.
Oh, dude, yeah, bro. Did you know Frank Reich led to the top 4 comebacks ever? No, I didn't know that, but that's interesting. That is interesting. He was a
context on that, sir.
Yeah. Do me a favor. Yeah, that's great. Write down or send a message on which comebacks. I'm curious on that. But anyway, so yeah, that was epic. So we had to get past that. We won. 41-38, which was unbelievable, by the way. It was just, that game was so fun to watch, guys. Even if weren't born around that era, just watch that game. It's like you could watch that over and over. Then we get to the playoffs and we lost really bad. 52-17.
And Tommy, I'm gonna stop you there.
Yeah.
At that point. At the end of that season,
go ahead.
Bill Polian left us.
The end of the Super Bowl season in 92?
Yep. Super Bowl season in 92, Bill Polian left us.
Okay, so, and by the way, guys, so I looked it up on why Polian left. So it was kind of a mutual thing between him and our late owner, Ralph Wilson. I have to look up if Polian ever made remarks, but it was basically a conflict of interest. They said Ralph Wilson, refused to talk about it. So obviously they were button heads for probably many seasons, because I doubt it was just like a one, season thing. And this is probably going on, and who knows what it was over? Who knows? If anyone knows, let us know, because I haven't pulled it up yet, and if Polian ever talked about it. But he got fired, or whatever you want to call it, mutual decision to leave or whatever. But yeah, he was gone, and we did lose the Super Bowl 52-17. That Super Bowl, we had 9 turnovers. I believe it's still a record. 17? Yes, and nine turnovers.
Ooh, that sucks.
Oh God, it was a rout, and it should have been worse if it wasn't for Leon Lett. High stepping, Don Beebe chasing him down.
Yeah. Wow. I remember that was the highlight. That was it for me.
That was the highlight of the Super Bowl for the Bills.
Yes, that was it. It was a butt whooping from start to finish. 9 turnovers, could not get anything going. That just tells you everything you need to know. 9 turnovers, that's it. Then everyone's like, "That's it. Buffalo is done. They're not going back. 3 straight, and there was no way they'll go back for a 4th." Well, guess what? In 1993, we go back and we lose again, 30-13 to the Dallas Cowboys, who won 2 in a row. This game was interesting now. So this game, we were up at halftime, I believe 14-10, something like that. We had the ball coming out at halftime, guys. We're driving, and Thurman Thomas fumbles the ball, and the rest is history.
That was also the game where Thurman Thomas couldn't find his helmet after halftime.
Yes. So, right. So he missed the first 2 plays.
That's heartbreaking. That is heartbreaking.
And,
that's like, what that reminds me of, except way lower stakes. Remember when we were playing the Rams and Josh threw that phantom interception? It wasn't an interception.
Yeah.
And then that's when the comeback happened. It's like that, except on a way, way
bigger
higher stage. And we actually lost the game versus the Rams where we won. Wow, that sucks.
Yeah.
Wow.
We're depressing justice.
And Thurman Thomas, I don't imagine Thurman Thomas to be a fumbler.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just when things don't go right, guys, as you guys know, we watch football forever. Things like that happen. Where you're like, you know what? Look at when you step back, go, oh my God, his helmet,
the momentum,
the fumble, this happened. It just was like it was just Buffalo was just bad. Bad luck. We just, the wide right, this, that, going against one of the best NFL teams ever.
The Dallas Monday night game.
Right? It
snowballed on us in the second half.
Yeah. But I will say this though, guys, and I know it's heartbreaking. It is 4 straight Super Bowls. But you know what? I still am proud. I am. The fact that they made it there. And I know hey, okay, you made it there and didn't win nothing. But dude, that's a feat by itself. It's very tough in NFL to make it to a Super Bowl, not only to go 4 straight seasons. I know we should have won one for sure, the Giants, but I can't take anything. That was that was great team. Those
what else?
Hall of Fame players, man. Go ahead, Justice.
It's really cool about it because the way I look at it is I look at life as net value, right? So if you take those seasons where you're winning, let's say you average 11.5 wins a game, right? That's now 16 weeks. You get to watch your team win 12 games. You know what I mean? You're only sad 4 weeks out of the entire season. And then you actually win the playoff games to get you to the Super Bowl where you're only sad those 5. The Super Bowl loss is heart crushing, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But in those seasons, you were happy that week because the Bills look good. The Bills, you know what I mean? So it is a net positive thing. You know what I mean?
Right. No, 100. I listen. I still was always proud. I'm not one of those fans that are like, oh, I'm done. Buffalo, they hurt me too many times. I can't. I can't do it. If somebody could do it, then hey, that's on you. But I'm not.
I did it, but I say I did it. I'd be like, yeah, man, I'm done with the Bills, but then I'd be right back the next week watching
See, they're not done.
I love them too much.
I can't.
I'll never listen. I sat through the 17-year drought.
Yep.
And I rocked them. And I live in Northern California. I've never been a Buffalo native. I picked them. I fell in love with them, and that's who I rock with.
Oh, you coming out looking good right now?
Yeah, me too. I'm from Florida.
I will rock them until the day I die. The Bills are my team. I fell in love with them. I fell in love with the community, how it works, the Mafia. It's just I bleed that city. Like I live in California, and we talked about this a couple weeks ago. Last week when the shooting happened there, and it's just like I was gutted for the community, and I've never even been there. I've never even gone to Buffalo. Like I'll be up there at some point to check out a game before then we move. But yeah, it's one of those things. Like it pulls you in. The Mafia and the Bills. I was gravitated towards them, and I just love them. And it was as heartbreaking as it was. I'll never quit them.
When we did our Spotify deal, I'm flying everybody to Buffalo, and we're having a meet up.
There we go.
Oh man, yeah, man. So I'm the same as Mikey, by the way, Judge. Anyone who knows me, I'm sure you know my story.
Did you guys get a lot of jokes for being Bills fans? Where you guys are from?
Well, oh God, yes, all the time. Yeah. In Northern California, absolutely.
Oh, he's in Cali too. Yeah, I got it rough because I was in Miami. I live in South Florida. I live in South Florida growing up as a kid. And listen, like I said, our rivals back then it was heated. The Dolphins and the Bills, if you guys are around in that era, that was it. Like there was no Patriots Marino era. Patriots were terrible. The Jets were pretty bad all the time. It was between the Dolphins and the Bills. Marino versus Kelly. Like that was it. That was the matchup. And my whole family is Dolphins fans. And I was the one trader who picked Buffalo in 1989. And I would go to the games with the Dolphin hanging on a rope, walking on dirty sidewalk, and people, they couldn't hurt me because I was a kid with glasses, right? They want to hit a kid with glasses. But my mom was like, well, hey, you're going to deal with it. And we always won. Like anytime I win, I'm like, yeah, dragging that Dolphin up the stadium steps.
Stab it a little bit.
It was so great, dude. It was so great. But, guys.
No, that's
fun.
awesome.
So, it was really fun. And one day would be cool if we can do this. And I wonder how we can. Maybe we could do it on Twitter somehow. Like get everybody, not everybody, but anyone that wants to say how they became a Buffalo Bills fan on Twitter. Like I would love to know. Like send your story.
Justin.
Justice. Oh, I'm sorry. Damn. See, my creative weird.
we're right here, Tom. Like we're right here. Okay, I told you I love you guys' creativity because I see it.
All right, so let's move forward. 1996, Jim Kelly retires. Sad day in Buffalo, but it had to be done, right? Like he knew his time was done in Buffalo. And by the way, quarterbacks took very bad hits back in the day, so it's a little bit different than quarterbacks today. A little bit rougher sport. And he did lead us to the playoffs, by the way, guys. In '95, we lost to the Jaguars. That was his last year, if I recall that.
Last game, he got hurt in that game.
Yeah. So he retires. So 98 comes. Bills went to the playoffs. And this was an important game for me because this is when Eric Moulds busted on a scene, man. And listen, Eric Moulds had like low years to start. He wasn't like that player yet. And because he came in 96, guys. So he played with Jim Kelly. Or 95 or 96. He played 1 year with Kelly. But he was getting like 300 yards. He had like, very low years if you look at Moulds' stats. But here it is. And it kind of reminds me of Gabe because here it is, the playoff game. 240 yards still stands today, NFL record. Eric Moulds had, and we lost. So it was all for nothing. But record still stands, and I was like, God, like who is this guy, Eric Moulds? Like this guy looks phenomenal. 99 comes, guys, and here it goes again. Heartbreaking. The Music City Miracle, and there's so much to talk about in this game. So, leading up to that game, Doug Flutie was the man. I absolutely love Doug Flutie in the regular season. I'm like, who is this guy? He's so short and he's so cool and he's fun and the team rallies around him. Like he was just one of those guys, and he wasn't a great quarterback. He was just a guy that just got out there and the team wanted to play for him. But
great leader,
right? Great leader. And he just, you know what? And in close games, he made it happen. He did. He was known for that through even college, against my Hurricanes. So, but Rob Johnson was signed the year before to a massive deal at the time from the Jaguars, and Bill's ownership and GM wanted him to play. And unfortunately, they pulled Doug Flutie out of the playoffs for Rob Johnson against Tennessee. And we wind up losing. And a terrible kickoff return.
Forward pass. It was a forward pass.
100% forward pass. If you watch that, I don't care who says what. That was a forward pass. It was close, but 100% forward pass. Yeah. Look at that over and over and over.
Tommy, I'll tell you. I remember that game vividly. I had joined the Army in 99. And I finally got my first, off post weekend. Because I was in AIT, so I had my first weekend off post, and I was so excited to watch that game. And that happened. I remember myself. I was in a hotel in South Carolina, and I was screaming at the TV, screaming that as a forward pass. I was grumpy for weeks after, grumpy. Oh, Tommy put us on mute. But yeah, it was one of those things that it was gut wrenching. Kind of like the last 13 seconds.
Sorry,
it reminds me so much of that.
For me, okay, so I was born in 1995, right? Been watching Bills football every Sunday since like the whatever week I came home from the hospital, okay? Because, my dad watched it every single week nonstop. And I adopted that, like there's a picture of me as a baby in like a Bills onesie, like it's my first outfit, everything, right? So it's like the red and blue is like entrenched in my blood at this point, right? So my first cognizant memory of watching Buffalo Bills football is the Music City Miracle.
Oh,
yes, that is
you
first
truly
play.
Grew up in the drought era.
My first memory is the Music City Miracle, and then
No.
every memory from that is no playoffs until 2017.
Rough. See, that's rough. Hey, but you got it.
That's a rough.
But that's where the credit comes in for you sticking around. That's what
true.
I'm talking about.
I had never seen good times.
You were never a front runner.
Until Josh Allen. Yeah,
you were loyal. You earned what we're seeing today. Those
right.
battle scars. Because I saw the glory years of the 4 Super Bowls that we lost. So I remembered what it was like. You guys went through those drought eras. Like, there's a lot of Patriots fans who are struggling today because they never saw a losing season.
Yeah.
Right. So they're losing their freaking mind with what's going on here.
Yeah,
exactly.
You were the reverse. You had never seen a winning season until McDermott showed up.
You know how I look at that's a great point, Mikey. You know how I look at that? I look at that as like us as like the Josh Allen of the league, right? We had to get it out the mud. Things weren't great when we started, but then we developed into a great fan base. He developed into a great quarterback versus like a Patrick Mahomes, who was born into championship caliber,
born on third base
all the time. Exactly.
Yep.
And now they suck and they don't really know how to use it. And
they don't know how to handle it.
Exactly. Yeah. We'll see what happens with Patrick Mahomes when all of his weapons go away.
Right.
But they're starting to go away now. So,
or when their coach retires eventually, and I mean, there's a lot that happens in football. And, I that's why as much as I hate the Patriots, I got to give them some credit because, they've been good for a while.
Yeah, for sure. They're the blueprint.
It's easy to be good when you have the best quarterback ever playing for
the best player. One of the probably.
And you have the best coach that can cheat ever.
Yeah.
So.
100%.
They got busted multiple times for cheating. Like
100%.
Yeah.
That's just when they got caught.
Yeah, when they got exactly. Bro, if you guys haven't ever watched the Vice, it was on Vice, I believe, and it was on the NFL's Darkest Stories or something. They had an episode on the Patriots scandal, and it is phenomenal. If you guys haven't watched it, watch it. And there's a lot.
Have you watched one of those player ones? There was a player one, and DJ Williams was talking about when McDaniels got fired from Denver. he got busted cheating, and they never won another game. And that's why McDaniel got fired from Denver.
Was that
DJ Williams was talking about it?
Yeah. It was on
he was like, tell us, turn it sprint right there. It'll be there. Yeah.
Yes.
He said the ball hit him right on the helmet. Yeah.
Dude was cheating and got busted, and got busted cheating. Got fired because we never won another game.
I guess we can answer this real quick, and we'll get back to it because I'll forget later, Chewy. Are the Bills done in free agency or trades? And I guess we'll go with both of you guys, Justice and Mikey. Mikey, first for you.
No, I don't think we are. I think we'll still add some veterans. I mean, we only have a couple spots left. I think we're at 88 right now, so we have 2 spots left. I could see us bringing in a veteran corner still.
Yeah.
I don't know if we need it, but I can see it. Also, I could see us bringing in another outside receiver. Because if you think about it, outside of Diggs and Davis, we don't have depth at the outside. We have a bunch of slot guys. Are we really gonna put all our faith into Shakir as the only other slot guy? It's because it's Krumero. Krumero's the backup right now. So if something happens to Diggs or Davis, it's Krumero.
Yeah, but
all the guys that are out there,
I could see, Mikey OJ Howard, even though he's a tight end, filling that spot. When they do like a 2 tight end set, like he can be, because he's basically a hybrid. If you really look at OJ Howard,
he's more of a big slot than an outside.
Yeah, no, but he could still. I still think you could slow line him up. He's that gifted athletically, in my opinion. And then you also got
James Cook.
You also got Isaiah McKenzie, who can run the slot too.
Yeah, but we're talking about slot. I'm talking about outside.
Outside, so, I still think you got. I think Howard can run the outside if you need it. I do. And outside, you also got James Cook now.
So I'm just telling you, if we go, I can. See
I don't think they get a receiver. If anyone, I think they get a corner. But you're right though. You may be right. But I'd have to look at the list of guys that are out there.
It's pretty. It's pretty. Well, there's a lot of veterans out there.
But we'll see. And we're negative right now, so we're gonna have to figure out how to get that money. But let's move forward. So here we go, guys. Here we go. Justice, go ahead. Turn. I'm sorry, I forgot you, Justice. Go ahead, brother. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. What was the question?
You see us signing any free agents or?
Oh, right. Or making any trades?
I was just gonna say what Mikey said. Honestly, I could see them getting a veteran corner. I could see a corner
for sure.
Yeah. Someone who thought they were going to get paid this year, didn't happen, so they're like, all right, well, let me go win a championship and get paid next year, perform well. I could see that. I could also see more offensive line depth coming in.
Like a JC type, like a JC Shredder type guy who has some injuries, who can play multiple positions. Who played at elite level last year. He just didn't practice, so I wouldn't mind seeing the Shredder come in.
Yeah, and as far as trades, what do you think, Justice? Any last minute kind of like because Brandon Beane does like to do that, like towards training camp, a guy is going to potentially cut.
Oh yeah, there's gonna be plenty of.
Might not be for a player, but it could be for a 6th round pick, right? 5th round pick.
Yeah, there's gonna be plenty of those players because
Beane loves that.
Tinkering is the bottom. Tinkering is the bottom all the time.
That's the thing about the way Beane has set up this team. There's so much talent everywhere. There's high-end talent in your starter position, and then there's mid-level talent at all your backups position, essentially. Mm-hmm. So now you got lower mid-level talent as guys who aren't even going to make the team. So someone's going to be like, all right, I don't want to try my luck on waivers for this guy. Let me send a 6th or a 5th or whatever. Get him, So I can see that.
Yeah, and Brandon Beane's famous for that. I mean, he's done it since he's gotten here. Guys that probably shouldn't have, except for one, Keller.
You got something for Bodine, the center, who ended up getting. You think he got a 6th round pick?
Our quarterback there.
Yeah,
he got a high 3rd round pick for Tyrod Taylor. It was like
the first pick in the 3rd round.
Yeah, dude, we got a lot. I'm telling you, he's. I could definitely see that, but I don't know if it'll be for.
You got that from Marshall Newhouse. That tells you how good he is. Yes, Marshall Newhouse.
Yeah. So he's good. So speaking of that, so let's get to 2000 to 2016. We missed the playoffs. So here's the drought years. We're gonna kind of go through that, and this is Justice. This is when Justice really was a diehard kind of coming in, like just really all in on Buffalo, and and poor Justice went through the year. So let's just kind of, we don't have to go through each season, obviously, because me and Mikey went through all the terrible coaches, which we'll be here all day explaining. But there were some prime time guys that I really thought like, okay, Mario, I believe Mario Williams came. That was like a big deal. Drew Bledsoe in 2002. Do you remember the Drew Bledsoe, by the way, Justice?
Yeah.
Listen, guys, if you were around Buffalo, and you were in Buffalo at the time, because I didn't live in Buffalo, but that was a huge signing. Like, that was a major. I think it was a trade, and then we signed him, right? Like, we traded him.
I do remember a trade.
But we flew him in. And Bill's Mafia before Bill's Mafia, because Bill's Mafia wasn't created until 2011, but 2002 Buffalo fans were swarmed at the airport, and they had the press conference in the airport. I mean, like presidential crap, man. I mean, this was we've been missing a quarterback. Imagine since Jim Kelly retired in '96, all the way to 2002, where we're like, here's our savior, Drew Bledsoe, right?
Drew Bledsoe,
former.
Savior.
I mean, that's what we thought.
That hurts my heart hearing those words.
Well, listen, I will say this. I swear to God, if we didn't have Greg Williams as our head coach, quite possibly, because how dynamic that offense was, who knows? That was a crazy good offense. And Drew Bledsoe had one good year. Like, that was it. It was almost like he was coming in to just, hey, guys, look, I'm going to give you everything I got. Here it is. Like, I can't do no more. So, and we went 8-8. I mean, it was slap in the face, man. It was just like we lose our home opener in overtime to the Jets, right? Like, Drew Bledsoe went off. Like, he had a really good game. I remember that. You remember the Mario Williams guys signing?
Yeah,
that was a big deal.
Oh yeah.
Houston.
Yeah,
Guy was
the underrated part of that. We said Kelvin Shepard for Jerry Hughes that year.
Oh, yeah. It was a great trade.
And everyone's like, who?
Unbelievable.
Jerry
trade.
Who? Like, why? Why?
That's
they did not know how to use him with Indy, and he flourished here. I'm going to just drop names, and you guys can just comment. London Fletcher should be in the Hall of Fame. Unbelievable.
Yeah, London and Takeo Spikes. Oh, my God.
Takeo Spikes.
What a duo.
Guys, I mean, we could keep going. Nate Clements.
Ted Washington.
Yeah. Nate Clements got that contract after he left the Bills. I think it went to the 49ers. He got the highest contract ever. Yeah.
Marshawn Lynch, right? When he was
Terrence
McGee.
Terrence McGee.
McGee, underrated.
Oh, actually,
Harris. I mean, we guys keep going.
We might be interviewing Terrence McGee on Believe in Buffalo.
Dude, I watch that. He is one of my.
He's one of my all-time favorites.
Yeah, dude, me and Mikey so much agree on that. Like, I love what McGee brung to this team. Like, he was dynamic.
He was special.
Kick returner, punt returner, good defender.
He got better and better at corner. He made his dues as special teams, and then he got so good. He became our number one corner. It was just like, how can you not love a guy like that who just puts in his time and keeps working, and it pays off.
So out of all this from 2000, 2016, guys, what is really missing here? A few things, right? Like,
you forgot the big one, Kyle Williams.
Kyle Williams, right? Yeah, 100% Kyle Williams. I mean, there's a lot of guys. Like, I'm just brainstorming, like, just trying to remember guys. There's more than that. You know what I mean? There's the Peerless Prices. There's the Lee Evans.
Lee Evans is.
There's a lot, guys.
Aaron Schobel.
Aaron Schobel.
Aaron Schobel.
There's
great.
more. There's way more. I'm sure I'm just missing some guys.
George Wilson.
Jarius Byrd.
I met George Wilson in Detroit at a bachelor party when he was a receiver for the Lions. Had no idea he was going to be a safety going to Buffalo. And we talked about Josh Reed at a bachelor party because I was like, Josh Reed's so underrated. He's such a good little slot. He's like, I like Josh Reed. I'm like, who are you again?
And then he comes over and becomes a safety for the Bills.
Yeah, and I'm like, I know this guy.
As Chewy comes in and says the playoff game, I mean, the losing to Pittsburgh's backups. All we need to do is beat Pittsburgh's backups. And Willie Parker runs all over us.
Do you remember that? It was a game that was supposed to. They gave us it. They said, "Here's our backups."
Yeah,
kind of like the Chargers last year. Yeah. All you got to do is not call a timeout.
Not screw it up. Yeah,
don't screw it up, and you're in.
Oh, it's miserable.
Miserable times.
But my point is, I guess in those years, and me and Mikey's went down this, as far as memory lane, what really, made these teams bad? It was the GM, head coaches, and quarterback play. Now, mind you, we had a couple that filled in here and there, like we just talked about Tyrod, Fitzpatrick, right? Like we all wanted to believe in Fitzmagic, and I love Fitzmagic. So don't get me wrong when I say he was bad. He wasn't bad. He just wasn't. He wasn't the guy that was going to lead us, and we have to be real here, right? Just like Tyrod was never going to be that guy to lead us.
You know what it really is? Go ahead, Justice. Don't go.
I have a theory. All right,
go for it, brother.
I think Ryan Fitzpatrick is the best quarterback in NFL history that did not want to be a starter. Okay, I truly think because he has elite level talent. Like, if he was consistent, Ryan Fitzpatrick could be a top 25 quarterback of all time if he was consistent. But he just, he gets his money. He shows, hey, I'm one of the better throwers in this league. And then he's like, all right, I'll prove myself. Let me just be garbage now. Like, I swear, it's like he doesn't want the pressure of being a starter, but he still wants to get paid. And then
he's a Dollar Tree Brett Favre. He's a Dollar Tree Brett Favre.
That is, I like that.
See, I think differently, and I'll have to go against that a little. I don't think that. I think Fitzpatrick.
He just throw it. He trusted his arm so much.
I think with him. Exactly. So I think with Fitzpatrick is like exactly what Mike said. So you're going to get the best of them at times, and you're going to get the worst of them at times. And I don't think it has to do with money because everywhere he's gone, teams absolutely love him. Fans absolutely love him. Like, you never heard of fans go anywhere, by the way, anywhere that I heard go, oh man, we signed this guy for, so and such money. This guy's a bum. Like, never. It was always like, you remember that Fitzpatrick game? Like, when Fitzpatrick.
Remember when we made that throw, not looking, and the guy was yanking him down by his helmet?
Right. Your team could have went 6-10, but they're talking about a Fitzpatrick game or like something.
But he always had the Fitzmagic always turned Fitztragic.
Yes. I that's why he's not a quarterback that will get you to that level where you want to be as a franchise quarterback. But that's what listen, guys, this is what we had, right?
Yeah.
Like, this is what Buffalo did. Trent Edwards, right? And I love JP Lossman, but he wasn't the guy. EJ Manuel wasn't the guy. Kyle Orton was a fill-in for one season. He just was like, hey, I'm done.
Can I be honest with you, Tommy, here?
Yeah, go ahead, brother.
A lot of it is player development. We didn't
100%.
have the front office. Like, the
100%.
difference between what we went through during the drought versus what we see today is player development. You see guys who come in with high talent that are raw that get better. So that falls on the coaches and the front office on not putting the resources there to help develop your guys.
No, I agree. I agree with that, and to a point though, because some players are just bad. Like, right, like we also have to look at that point and say, okay, you know what? He's just a bad, because he left and he went here and he was terrible, right? Or like, kind of like Josh Rosen, right? Like, and I hate to pick on Josh Rosen, but the reality is he's been in the league now, I don't know, since 2018.
Yeah, but Josh Rosen also hasn't been surrounded with any resources.
I understand that, Mikey, but he's been around since 2018, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's one. He talked shit. Let's be real. Coming out of the draft, that he's the man. He should have been picked first. Blah blah blah. Like, he ran his mouth quite early. It didn't work out in Arizona. You're telling me that everywhere he's bounced to, they're just like, meh. Like there has to be a reason. He
wasn't a leader.
No, right, and that's a problem. So it doesn't matter if he's gifted all around the world. Athletically, it's me, whatever the hell he's gifted at. I don't know because I haven't seen him.
He's the guy from draft day. That quarterback from draft day. That is Josh Rosen. No one showed up to his birthday.
You're 100% right.
No, but you are right, and I do agree. I don't think he's a leader. I could just tell by his body language. I wouldn't.
His attitude right away. Anyone. But
to be, if a guy has talent, if a guy is top 10 NFL quarterback draft talent, even if he's not a leader, he'll still get opportunities. So I don't think if he's good, he's going to get opportunity regardless.
You will get an opportunity, but how long will it last? Right? And to Justin's point, exactly, he didn't even get an opportunity to start again. Like even back, I don't even recall him even doing any kind of backup work or coming in like doing anything.
He did.
Like
when he left there, he went to
Miami.
then he ended up in Atlanta.
I'm talking about coming in and making an impact as a
no, he's never made an impact.
This guy came in, did a comeback or something.
But that goes back to the resources, Tommy. Look at where he went. He went to Arizona before the regime. The regime that he drafted him got canned. And it comes back to a lot of that stuff too. You may not want to believe it, but it's part of it.
Yeah, but okay, so teams aren't picking this guy up now because why? Like why aren't teams
because he doesn't fit the culture.
Then he's not an NFL player. He needs to go to somewhere else. So, but I will say this. So, when Justin was talking about like players that are gifted and stuff like that, if anyone watched football, there's been a handful of quarterbacks who are gifted. Jeff George, if anyone remembers him, awesome, bro. This guy was phenomenal coming out of college. He just was a bad attitude, and he didn't care. And there's another guy. What's his name? Mikey. That played for Denver. Help me out here. Played for Denver.
Cutler.
He's a bad attitude. Jay Cutler. Very good arm, good quarterback, terrible leader.
Now, Cutler is a good example because even though Cutler was horrible attitude, terrible leader, he still got paid. And not only did he pay, he got multiple opportunities to start.
That's exactly my point, Mikey. Exactly. Teams are still willing to roll the dice on him, and they're not rolling the dice
because of that talent.
Rosen, right? So does Rosen not have that talent to roll the dice on?
He doesn't have the arm talent. He never had the. He was a polished system guy. He didn't have the physical traits that Allen and Lamar Jackson and and Darnold. Darnold even has the physical traits. Mentally, Darnold's game is messed up in his head. That's he was done when he said he sees ghosts. Well, and that goes back to my resource comment. Because think about it. In 2018, Josh Allen had nothing, right? He had no offensive line, no receivers. Brandon Beane went out and rectified that in the 2018 offseason to fix that because he knew the only way Josh was going to get better is if he got resources around him. And
Steve McNair, that's a good.
I feel like if Mac Jones had Aaron Rodgers' attitude, he would be Jay Cutler.
Without the big arm.
Yeah, he doesn't have it. He doesn't. Jay Cutler had a good arm.
I don't think if he had a bad attitude, I just don't think people would think he's worth the time of day. Like, I'm not playing with this guy. He's not that good.
Yeah.
He'd be Rosen. If he had Aaron Rodgers' attitude, he'd be Josh Rosen.
So that's so yeah, guys. See the rabbit hole we go on when we start talking about these drought years and who we had and it's like
it's okay because you're about to flip it and make it really happy.
I am about to flip it, guys. So here we go. 2017, another year I won't forget as a Bills fan. We go 9-7. I had a softball game that day, and I said, I canceled the softball game. Like for me, I stayed home. I watched us win, and they shot over to the Cincinnati game, and I couldn't believe it. And we made the playoffs at 9-7. Mikey, do you remember that? Where were you?
I do. I was home. I was watching football, and I was all kinds of gassed up for it. I was jumping around my living room, having a time of my life, watching it on the edge of my seat on that fourth down. And when he caught it, I was like the dudes in the locker room. I was going nuts.
Emotional. Yeah.
However, you did skip over the biggest signing at the beginning of that year when we hired.
No, I did. I apologize. So yeah, that's why I got you here, Mikey. Yep. So 2017, I do apologize. So 2017. We went ahead and we traded for Shady McCoy, right? Is that what you're going to say there in 2017?
No.
Or 2016.
The off season between 2016 and 2017.
Yeah.
We hired head coach Sean McDermott to change the program.
2016, right? Exactly. So exactly. So we had Rex Ryan. I'll take that back. So the Rex Ryan years, by the way, guys, is when we got Tyrod Taylor, and then we got Shady McCoy. So I take that back. So we traded for
Kiko Alonso.
Great trade, by the way. And Kiko wasn't a bad player. He just was a player that was not in the right generation.
He
was good for the Bills.
Yeah.
No,
he
just was
a left.
He was a like
we
he was
got
a player that
elite running back
in the 90s
for a
that was
average linebacker.
And he played above average in Buffalo.
I think Mikey, I don't know if I agree. I think he was above average.
Okay.
I just think he was
we got
I agree. I know we got
above average linebacker.
No. We got a steal. I'm not saying it wasn't a steal, but I'm talking about Kiko in general as a player. I think Kiko just was in a wrong era.
Agree.
Like I think if Kiko was in, like I said, the 90s, early 2000s, where football was dirty.
Like, he was a Bill Romanowski.
He would have been phenomenal.
I think if he would have stayed in Buffalo, he would have had a great career.
It's very possible. It is, but the one thing I will say, Justice, is he had a little wire loose there. So I don't know if he would have stayed long because he might have had
do you want your linebacker to have all his
that dude
connected?
All defense. You listened to Micah Hyde the other day on Pat McAfee. He said all of us have a wire loose. Anybody who's willing to run down and smash someone like that, they got to be a little bit crazy.
Yes, but the problem with Kiko was he wasn't willing to change his ways. And even Micah Hyde said, hey, we have our wires loose a little bit, but we had to reform. We had to change the way we hit people, right? Kiko never understood that. Kiko played that way since Pop Warner football, and he was going to stay to his ways. If you're a quarterback running and you slide, he's going to take your head off.
Money,
Tommy, let me ask you this.
Go ahead.
Do you think that if he would have stayed in the Bills organization, blah, 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 whatever, do you think that would have been a better environment for him to learn how to correct his mistakes?
No, because of the coaching we had right now. Now, if possible, Sean McDermott's around there.
You're right.
He doesn't fit the culture. He does not fit the McDermott culture at all.
And Mike is a great point.
He would have been shipped out.
Now,
Mike is a great point.
We talked about John Feliciano earlier. Now we look back on that. Does it really seem like John Feliciano fit the culture?
He did. He has sour grapes now,
but
he was a team guy during his tenure. Now he's a little salty about how it all played out.
Fair enough.
Quentin Spain told the company line too until he was gone. And he didn't like how they were playing it, and then he got a little salty. You know, but you go back and look at how the type of DNA that the Bills are looking for that Bean and McDermott want. Kiko doesn't fit that mold at all. He's a fantastic football player, but like the buy-in and all that. That's the reason why Kiko's been on how many different teams?
No, he's gone.
He's on like 4.
The Saints, the Eagles, the Dolphins.
And the Bills, right? Yeah. So he just kept bouncing around, and he needed to find a team that was willing to deal with his craziness.
And don't forget, against us, I think Kiko tried some dirty shots against the Bills when we played him. I think one was when he slid. He tried to hit him late. Yep. And I think he did one the year before on another quarterback we had, I believe at the time. It might have been Tyrod, when it just wasn't. Listen, it just that's just it's unfortunate, but
and Kiko's one of the guys that Josh Allen slammed down when he was in Miami. He threw a linebacker off of him.
Yeah, he was one of them. Kiko gave him credit, by the way. He's like,
Kyle Van Noy was the other one. He put Kyle Van Noy into the ground.
Yeah. So sorry. So moving on. So 2017, we make the playoffs finally. Yep. That was very emotional for me. I was like, oh my God, like I've waited so long, right? And then 2018, here we go. So guys, I do want to ask you, because I already know Mikey's answer, but I'll still ask Mikey. So in case anyone watching doesn't know, the draft comes along. We got some quarterbacks to choose from, Mikey. And who did you want? And be honest here.
Honestly, I wanted either Allen or Lamar Jackson.
Okay, but who
I was in chat rooms talking about it. I was all in on either Allen or Lamar Jackson. I wanted no part of Baker Mayfield or Sam Darnold. I've watched too many USC guys flame out. Those big programs. I didn't trust it, and I didn't think that Mayfield was worth a first round pick. When I looked at him, he fit that college style RPO bubble screens. Like a lot of Mayfield's throws were short. Like he didn't have to read defenses. It was all now he's at USC Lincoln Riley system.
Yeah.
That also Kyler Murray came out of. So it was one of those things. Yeah, I loved Lamar Jackson coming out. I was huge. I'm like, man, this guy is amazing. Like, I watched him at Louisville a lot. I'm like, he's a right-handed Michael Vick.
Yeah. I got you. So my thinking, and we'll go to you next after Justice. I was all in on Allen. I'll be honest with you guys. I was sold on him right away. Like how I always do is once I know who the Buffalo Bills are interested, I go and watch everybody's film and see what they're about and their story and all that crap. And I remember a lot of Bills fans were liking Rosen, and I'm just like, ugh, I don't like.
I want to know part of that guy.
Yeah,
I didn't like him as a person. I didn't think he would fit us.
I didn't like it. Yeah, I didn't like his personality. I didn't think he was, he was okay. I mean, I got the whole pro ready thing, but it's like, I don't want a pro ready guy. I want a guy that, fits this town, that has the big arm, that can move,
I didn't need a pro ready guy. I needed a superstar. I needed a superstar.
In the making, though, because I knew, though, and also I had to be a realist at the time and say, hey, I know this guy's a developmental player. I get it. Mm-hmm. But who cares? We've been in this terrible drought pretty much, right? Like, what do we got to really lose here? The outcome could be phenomenal, right? The worst case, okay, we go back to I've been down this road before. So, yeah, Justice, what were you thinking there on draft day? Like, who did you really want? Do you remember that?
And ever since I saw my first Wyoming game, I fell in love with Josh. No, I'm just playing. I did not want Josh Allen. He was probably last of the 5 that I wanted.
Wow.
Oh, really?
Honesty here, guys.
Yeah,
this is what
I was not happy. Like, I tell a story. I was at the premiere of Avengers Endgame, I think it was, or Infinity War. It was one of the two. War. And it was like huge, and it was the Thursday before the Friday opening. I'm so excited, and I'm pissed off because I can't watch the draft, but it's Avengers, so good trade off. And I'm there, and the screen is coming up, the previews before the movie, right? And my phone buzzes, and I look at my phone. The Buffalo Bills trade up to pick 7. I'm like, oh my God, I really wanted Baker Mayfield, but he was gone. He started reading number. And then I was like, Josh Rosen, we're getting Josh Rosen. My phone buzzes again. It's Josh Allen. Oh my God. If you guys could have known the just anger, and I was so pissed. And it wasn't until the first, I don't know if it was the first preseason game. It was a preseason game where we played the Bengals. And there was this move where he had the ball in his hand. He was in the pocket. Right?
Yeah, the end zone.
He juked. It was bounced right back and threw it. I was like, oh.
To Rod Streeter in the back of the end zone.
I was like, that was
he did legit. He did a sidestep.
Mm-hmm.
And when that was like, I'm with you.
Sidestep popped up in the pocket. Yeah, off the wrong foot, dime between 3 guys to hit his right receiver. Yeah,
I'm with you, Justice, on that. I remember that like that was yesterday too, bro.
His first touchdown was the one that I knew we had something special. When he fit it between the corner and to get the guy was sliding down in the corner of the end zone, and he fit it like between. He probably had about a 3-foot space to fit the ball, and he did. It was just like, I'm like, this kid's got something special. If they can figure out a way to, just clean up his mechanics, this kid's gonna be special.
Yeah. So you guys know the story. So 2018. So Josh Allen probably wasn't supposed to start, and unfortunately, and Brandon Beane, by the way, guys, admits this. He made a mistake.
Couple of the chat were talking about it too. They said that it's that TD to McLeod is the corner TD I was talking about.
Yeah. Nate McLeod, right? Ray. I'm sorry, Ray. Yeah, Ray McLeod, who by the way got paid. I can't believe it.
Hey, more power to him. He's
like I said, I give everyone credit. I give anyone credit who
except he's better returning.
Hey, even Zay Jones turned around. I really didn't think he would. So
Zay Jones got paid. Zay Jones got paid.
I gotta give props. When you bounce back from adversity. But anyways, back on that. So 2018, Brandon Beane admits he made a mistake. He didn't have a team really built around Josh. He wasn't supposed to start Josh. AJ McCarron was supposed to start, and he was so awful. We traded him before.
He had that fourth quarter comeback in the preseason. We've talked about.
And then I think Dak
perfect
got
time to
injured
trade
that
him.
year, and Cowboys really needed a backup, like really badly.
Yeah. No, he went to the Raiders.
Yeah, we traded him to the Raiders, and then the Raiders sent him to the Cowboys.
Oh,
Right.
that's what happened.
We got a fifth round.
We got a
fifth round was
pick
just
for him.
phenomenal at the time. So, and then as you know, Nate Peterman. And I'll never listen, guys.
Peterman.
I'll never forget because I was driving and when they announced it, and they had him like do like his like interview.
Peterman looked good in the preseason. Like we make fun of it now, but that throw to Kelvin Benjamin down the sideline.
I get it, but I saw all I wanted to the year before. So like I already knew Nate Peterman, right? I didn't need, but I was like, you know what? I still was like in that whole fine. You know what? Okay, fine.
Too. I was like, maybe by the grace of God, he'll be good. You know?
Right. Or whatever. Like 8-8. What just let Josh sit, pay attention, learn, you know. That cool. I was totally okay.
Peterman did what Peterman does. Right. And he comes out and throws picks. So I'm going to put Josh in at halftime.
I'll never forget the interview. He's like, like he sounded so confident. I'm like, all right, maybe this guy learned, right? Like I'm thinking, all right, you know what? And then the game. You know,
training camp, he looked in every training camp video. He looked awesome. All preseason, he was money. Like I thought, hey, okay, we'll let him play this year, and then Josh will come in next year. Nope.
The Ravens game, bro. I tried, and it was.
I can't watch it. It was so bad.
It was so bad. Like guys, if you ever
Chargers game was bad.
Oh,
but that's Josh's first game. God.
Oh, that was the Packers.
No, Chargers.
No, so Ravens was his first game because he came in after Peterman was god awful.
Yeah, fourth quarter, but his first start was the Chargers.
I thought that was his first career.
No, Chargers. His first, so it was how his career started. Was the first game was Baltimore. He came in like the fourth quarter, and I'm like, okay, he actually showed. I remember the commentators like, all right, because Peterman was so terrible, and I remember Josh making some plays, and they're like, okay. All right, and then we play the Chargers.
You saw his talent on display in that.
And then you saw the Chargers like, right? Like, okay, we have a bad receiving core. Like that was a bad game.
We realized we had no offensive line and a bad receiving core instantly.
Offensive line was awful.
Then we played Minnesota, and that's when everybody said, "Wait a minute." Oh, wait a minute. Who is this guy leaping over people?
Diving for the pylon. Superman in it to the pylon.
And you saw flashes. Right. Yep. That whole season wasn't great, but you saw flashes. And you're like, okay, wait a minute. If you could put all this together, like if we could get a quarterback coach in here. By the way, Dorsey was not there yet. He didn't come until 2019. So, right, we have to build around this guy. We have no receivers, no offensive line, really no help, right? So 2019 comes, guys. What happens? We get to the wild card. Ken Dorsey comes that year. We sign John Brown. We sign Cole Beasley. We get a little better offensive line. We trade McCoy. We get Frank Gore. We draft Devin Singletary. It's a totally different look football team on offense. I mean, it was totally different, guys. Totally different compared to the 2018. Zay Jones is gone. No, Robert Foster's gone. We get to the wild card game. And what happens? You guys remember? Anybody want to talk about that?
We got screwed.
Wild card game.
We got screwed.
Anybody want to talk about the referees that came out in the black?
Yeah,
bro.
Well, I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about just.
No, I know. I'm just saying.
The Cody Ford thing and the halftime thing. That whole game
was weird. Yeah. That whole game was weird, right? So, as long as I've been watching football, and I know we're going a little off topic, but you normally
I've never seen a ref
will wave
with
their
a
hand,
black jacket
or they'll take a knee.
No, but I'm saying when a ball's coming, right? Players either wave their hand or they take a knee. There's never been a player that just walks away from the ball. Catches and throws it on the right, and the ref's like, exactly right. It's exactly what you're supposed to do. And it was a touchdown. It was a touchdown. I don't care what anyone says.
And then some random official in a black jacket comes on and overturns it. Like, who is that guy? I've never seen an official in a black jacket.
Like, who is these guys? So, man, that was an unbelievable game. And Josh, that's when you kind of saw a little bit of the Sugar High Josh in the late quarter there.
I mean, listen. Everyone talks about the throwing over his head. Dawson Knox was 3 feet to him. If Dawson Knox pays attention and catches that, he's still running.
And they actually completed that play this past season.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is, but remember though, Dawson Knox was new. They weren't on the same page yet. Like
they weren't, but that's just Josh the playmaker.
Yeah.
You know, everyone's like, he threw it over his head and it's crazy. I'm like, his tight end was 2 feet away from him. If he pays attention, he picks it up.
100%. But I will say that year, so Josh Allen's completion percentage was like
58.52
something.
52. Was it 58 the second year?
His rookie.
Yes, I'm saying 2019. Yeah. So it was 58.
Yeah, 58.
So it went from 52 to 58. It was still 58. It's not good, guys. So he had an okay season, and I still remember people dogging him. Right? We all know this. National media, everybody, even Colin Cowherd, which, by the way, I love him now because at least he's one of the few guys that actually stepped up and said, "Hey, I was wrong. I was wrong. This guy, I'm all in on Josh Allen. I realized, he got better." But anyways, so 2019, after that season, people dogging him. I'll never forget. Oh, he's a bum. He's throwing the ball. He's careless with the ball, 58%. So what does Josh Allen do? He goes, sees a specialist. He works with Jordan Palmer more. We come out in 2020, and what happens, guys, in 2020? 13-3. People are talking a little different about the Buffalo Bills. We get to the AFC Championship. Unfortunately, we lose. We just weren't ready yet, right? Josh just wasn't ready yet.
Wasn't just Josh.
I don't know if it was Josh.
Well, he was
Josh tried.
He didn't have the greatest game either.
But it's hard to have a great game when you're fresh 20 times.
I'm not putting it all on Josh, but I'm saying he's still partly responsible. So is the head coach. So is Dable, so is running back, so is everybody, right?
I'd agree with you. I'd just say if you watch that game and you look at it from the perspective of the court, like you see what Josh Allen had to work with, it wasn't much to work with. And
100%. That's what I'm saying. So it was just a lot of. I just think it was a bad team game overall, and you got to put it on him too. He is the leader. That's unfortunately that's the way it goes, and I'm cool with that. But I think that was an overall team loss, including the coaches, right? Now we go forward, and we all know 2021, right? It wasn't a shaky year to start, I would say, right? It was a kind of a weird year. We lose to Pittsburgh, and then we get it together, and then we lose a weird game to Tennessee, and then we come out the bye against the Dolphins, not so good, but we win barely, and then we get our butts spanked. Right?
Like I said, barely. We beat them by 17.
No, it was a very close game up to the end, Mikey. It was you guys.
But it wasn't barely. We still beat them by 17.
I get it, but it just wasn't a pretty game. How about that? It was not a pretty.
It wasn't
game.
Pretty. Yeah.
Then we get spanked by the Colts. You guys know that.
Oh yeah, that was McKenzie fumbled it on the kickoff.
It was just a bad game. It was a bad game. Yeah, it was just overall. That's when
it was like that Eagles game the previous.
Oh,
year,
dude, it was a couple years ago. It was Mikey. That was an exact. Bro, I swear to God, if I just closed my eyes, that was the Eagles game.
Yeah,
it was all over again. Right? Dable didn't know what to do. It was like they
kept trying to throw in the rain.
They played ran all over us.
Yeah, they played us
and
exactly
he kept throwing the rain and the wind. Like a lot of the issues we had last year was because Dable didn't know how to set up a running game, and we played in horrible monsoon weather most of the year. So Josh, was playing in high winds and rain all year long.
Yeah, he got stuck in his ways. I got to tell you, he stuck with his game plan, and he hated to adjust. And now is Dable's downfall, in Buffalo, in my opinion. So anyways, we get to the Chiefs game. We handle the Patriots, by the way, I got to say. Phenomenal game.
The first ever perfect game.
Yes, phenomenal, unbelievable game by the whole team. Well coached, by the way, too. I will give Dable the credit there. Go against the Chiefs game. Now, I'm torn on this because I will say, too, a lot of people we're going to all blame the defense and coaches. I blame coaches as well. I'm going to blame Dable a little bit too.
I blame Dable.
Dable had a terrible first half, first 3 quarters. When Tyrann Mathieu goes down, we should have been attacking right away, right? Like their weak spot. It was there. Dable didn't recognize it. He didn't recognize it till the midway third quarter.
No, it didn't. It wasn't for him to recognize. Josh Allen just took over the game. Dable was terrible.
100%. So
Josh Allen just said, "Screw this! I'm not going to let us lose." And started doing it himself.
100%.
Like he did against Tampa.
Yeah. I brung this up the other day. I said, somebody asked me a question. I'm like, listen, we went into halftime 14-14.
Exactly.
If we would have just stepped on the gas early on, the Chiefs
Stop
are
trying
playing.
to run.
They're playing
up
catch
the middle.
up.
He's
Right.
running straight up the middle, like on 3rd and 1.
They're straight stretch plays.
Yeah.
Under center.
Playing,
No,
the Chiefs should have been playing catch up that whole game.
Oh my God.
And we played catch
Sorry,
up.
Mandy. We love you. We appreciate you being here.
So we're getting to the end of this, guy. So we all know what happened. We all know what happened. We're not going to continue to talk about it because it blows my mind. We lose 20-1. So
Best
here we go.
59 minutes and 47 seconds ever.
Yes. So here we go. So here's the where to be continued goes. 2022 coming up, guys. If the Buffalo Bills do it, which I believe we will, win a Super Bowl, will this be the greatest football story ever told? Now, remember what we just talked about. Mikey, opinion.
I do believe it could be one of the greatest stories. And I look at it from a larger view, more of a big picture. I look at the Napoleon dynasty that he had in the 90s, right? And then we ran him out of town. And then I watched him do that same thing in Indianapolis. And then, now we've started to rebuild 17 years later. We get Bean and McDermott. I want the Mafia to remember, we do not want to run these guys out of town. They are building something long term. Like at the end of that 13 seconds, people were asking for McDermott's head on a pike. Like, listen, remember how bad it was a few years ago. In Bean we trust, right? That's what we always say. In Bean we trust. Let's remember he went out and he got Von Miller. He retooled that D line to help the linebackers to get the best out of Tremaine Edmonds. He drafted the second, our first round corner. He brought in more guys, brought in James Crowder, signed Roger Saffold. So he's trying to tinker with little areas that we struggled last year. He's trying to fill those holes, and we have to close it. So I believe it's one of the best, but I think it's more on the story. It took us 17, really longer than 17, it took us 20 years to get a GM who had a vision like Napoleon had back then.
Okay.
Enjoy it as we watch the story written.
All right, Justice, what's your feeling on it? Greatest, if we win a Super Bowl, is this the greatest football story ever told?
I think it'll be the greatest temporarily. I think once teams start to win, people the allure is gone. It's not as special anymore. It's not as sparkling, shiny.
If we would have won in 2020, I could have seen it, right?
Yeah. So like people kind of expect you to just be good. It's like the Patriots. They pretty much sucked all the way up until they got Brady and Belichick in that perfect situation, and then they went on and won, and nobody's like, well, the Patriots are the greatest story ever. Nobody really cares. They had their time, and I think once you win, people really stop trying to like sensationalize you. And I think that's one thing that the Bills, we might have to get used to soon. We won't be the Cinderella darlings of the league anymore soon.
Mm-hmm. I think Ismail says it perfect here, Tommy. Yeah. Ismail says Josh Allen will be the biggest football story. Going from a project and written off by most medias to Super Bowl champion.
Yeah. So that's where I was going to get. So my opinion, if we win a Super Bowl, no matter what, the Buffalo Bills will be the greatest football story ever to be told. And the reason why I say this is because of everything we just talked about. We've never won a Super Bowl. We went 4 straight years. Okay, no other team's ever gone 4 straight years.
Yep.
We lost every single one. Then we missed the playoffs 17 seasons in a row. We draft a kid named Josh Allen out of Fireball, California, who was begging his way onto a college football team and got 2 offers and got drafted number 7 overall by the Buffalo Bills. Then everybody shit on Josh Allen, all the naysayers. And if we turn around and we win a Super Bowl after everything that we just went through as a fan base, as an organization, that's the greatest football story ever, in my opinion. Because no other team, in my opinion, has gone through everything we just talked about. There's no other team, because no other teams ever went 4 in a row. Mm-hmm. There's no other team that's, not that I know of, lost 7, like this many after going 4 Super Bowls, 17 missed seasons. Not to mention, I totally miss the Music City Miracle, the 13 seconds left in the Chiefs game. There's a lot that
Monday Night Football game.
There's a lot, bro. There's so much heartbreak, right? So much heartbreak. And like I said, adversity, right? And then you got good feel-good stories, and I'm going to say one more feel-good story. I'm hoping because I believe in Buffalo, the tragic event that happened in Buffalo, and Buffalo, if they need a hero right now, or they need a feel-good story, this is it. I really truly believe that, and it's just the fact that the players and every single player went out. By the way,
they flew in to go out. They flew in just for that.
Yeah, coach, every single player, nothing but love, respect for this town, for the city, for the players, everybody involved, for everybody. Mm-hmm. So that's why this is going to be, if we win a Super Bowl, the greatest football story ever to be told.
I'm with you, Tommy. I can buy that. Buy that.
We've been on, guys, for 2 hours. I'm just going to do a real quick top 10, and we are out of here because this has been a hell of a long show. And listen, guys in the chat, holy crap! Thank you for
riding with us.
This is like the draft all over.
Every time Justice comes on, he catches a long one.
Yeah, I swear to God, this is it, guys. We're going to do a top 10 real quick, and we're going to get out of here. So my top 10 this week, guys, is going to be the top 10 greatest
fourth quarter comebacks, right?
Fourth quarter comebacks, yeah. The game-winning drives. I apologize.
Game-winning drives.
So the game, yeah. Fourth quarter game. Well, not even fourth quarter. Just greatest game-winning drives. Top 10 game-winning drives. So the number 10, coming at number 10, guys, is Bills versus Jaguars in 2006. The score was 24-24. J.P. Lossman, ball on his own on our Buffalo 40 with 22 seconds remaining. Bills win 27-24. Lindell with the 42-yard field goal. Remember Ryan Lindell, very good kicker. Lossman, not the greatest game, no touchdowns, but he had 169 yards.
He got us in field goal range. That's all that matters.
But he led the drive, so he is on this list at number 10. By the way, guys, this was not an easy list to come up with. I had a really struggle to find greatest comeback. Thanks,
Chewy. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Andy, we appreciate you being here all night too.
Yep. So coming in at number 9 for the game-ending drives, Bills versus Vikings, 2014. I'm sure you guys remember this, Justice. Bills losing 16-10.
Oh, yeah.
Ball on our own 20 with 3 minutes left. Kyle Orton was the quarterback. Bills win 17-16 on an Orton 4-yard touchdown pass in the corner to a rookie Sammy Watkins. And Orton had 283 passing yards. Watkins, 122 with 2 touchdowns. You guys remember that game?
Love Sammy Watkins. Yeah, absolutely.
That was Sammy Watkins' hello to the NFL. That was a very good game. And Kyle Orton, I know Mikey hates him, but Uncle Orton, but he was okay quarterback for us that year. I got to say, he was okay. He wasn't the worst, but he wasn't good. Coming at number 8, Bills versus Bengals, 2019. I know you guys remember this. Bills losing 17-14, ball on 25, 4 minutes, 35 seconds. Bills won 21-17. Frank Gore with the 1-yard touchdown run. And this game's epic because Dawson Knox ran over the defender on a Josh Allen pass. And then Trey White intercepted it to seal the game at the very end. You guys remember that?
Yeah.
On a tip pass, Trey White with a very good. And the Bengals tried to be sneaky and say Trey White ran out of the end zone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
And the ref's like, no, you gave himself up. Don't try that crap here.
Yeah.
Number 7, Bills versus Bears, 2002. 27-27 in overtime. Ball on own 44 with 13 minutes. So it was right in the beginning. I think the Bears had a turnover or something. Bledsoe with the win, 33-27. He had a 26-yard pass to Travis Henry. By the way, Travis Henry, very underrated, very good running back for the Buffalo Bills. For a touchdown. Look at this. Look at these numbers, man. Bledsoe, 328 yards, 4 touchdowns. Molds, 124, 1 touchdown. That's a very good game, guys. I remember that.
We see that every week with Josh and Diggs now.
We do, but this was in 2002.
Isn't it crazy? You can see a 314-yard game from Josh and you're like, oh, he did pretty good today.
Yeah,
he had an average day.
That's all right.
Remember when we were 2 touchdowns? He only had 2. That's it.
You remember, as Allen fans, we were like, when is that 300 game going to come?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And now it comes like no problem.
Yeah.
All right, number 6, Bills versus Raiders. 2011. Bills losing 35-31, ball on own 20. 3 minutes, 41 seconds. Fitzmagic. It's the Fitzmagic game. Bills win 38-35. Fitzmagic, 6-yard touchdown pass to David Nelson on a 4th and 1, by the way, guys. There were 6 seconds left, I believe. This was it. 4th and 1. That was it. Fitzmagic, 264, 3 touchdowns. David Nelson had a pretty good game, 83 yards and a touchdown. I remember that game. You hit him in the back of the end zone. Number 5, Bills versus Jets. Do you guys remember this? Opening day. Bills were losing 16-10, and it was pissing me the hell off.
Yep.
A damn Dable. 16-10 with 3:55 left. Ball in 20. Josh Allen throws a 38-yard touchdown pass to John Brown. Underthrown, but John Brown made the right choice and went back for the ball, and we won. That was
supposed to be a back shoulder fade that Josh underthrew.
we thought it was going to be another rough season after that.
Yeah.
Yes, we did. Number 4. I'm sure a lot of you guys remember this, and I feel bad for this guy because he just came on a bad team too. Bills versus Panthers 2013. E.J. Manuel, his rookie year, I believe. Bills down 23-17 with 1:38 on our own 20. Bills would win 24-23. E.J. Manuel passed to Stevie Johnson with 6 seconds left. You remember? I think you remember that game, Mikey, right?
I do, and actually that was the game I thought we might be able to salvage something out of E.J. We might have found something here.
Yeah. I mean, look at the stats.
Calm, cool under
Not
pressure.
Terrible. Yeah, he had a great that drive. You guys watch that drive. Mm-hmm. It's on YouTube. Very good drive, clean drive. Yeah. He had decent stats. That's not bad stats at all. And
him and Stevie had a nice connection.
They did. Yep. Number 3, Bills versus Colts 2017. I know you remember this, guys. Everybody has to remember this. The Snow Bowl game. Tied at 7-7 in overtime. Ball on own 35. 2:25 remaining. Bills won 13-7. Shady McCoy with a 21-yard touchdown run. Peterman got injured, and Joe Webb took over and actually had a decent drive.
Yeah.
He did. He got us to that point where Shady had 21 yards to go, and I remember they ran the kicker out initially. You guys remember that? And then they ran him off the field. And then they ran Shady, and we had the touchdown. That's how that game ended.
If we lose that game, no playoffs.
No playoffs. That's exactly 100% right. That was just meant to be. All right, number 2. I know you guys remember this. Bills vs. Rams 2020. We are kicking ass in this game, and the Rams came storming back.
Phantom interception.
Yep. We're losing 32-28 on our own 25 with 4 minutes left, pretty much a little over 4 minutes. Bills won 35-32. Touchdown pass to the injured Tyler Croft, who never stayed healthy, with 21 seconds left. He hit him with the little, I think it was a fade route. Josh Allen, 311 with 4 touchdowns. Very good game. You guys remember that game?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Coming off of a 400-yard game the week prior.
And Stephon Diggs got the best of Jalen Ramsey.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Ramsey was talking all that trash, too.
Yep, and then, Diggs schooled him in the end zone, showed him how to run a route.
I think you guys saw this already, but do you guys know what the number 1 is? Can you recall?
Yeah, it's the number 1 is a Patriots game because every number 1 falls around the Patriots for Tommy.
Right. Number 1, 2011, 31-31, and guess who's making some magic, baby? Fitzmagic. Ball on own 20 with 3 minutes left. 34-31. Lindell wins with a 28-yard field goal. Look at Fitz. 369, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. That's a typical kind of Fitz game, I'll be honest with you. Like 2-2, he's like, yeah, baby. But he had some magic that day. And listen, it's the Patriots. You have to put that there. You beat Bill Belichick in those years and Tom Brady. You got to give credit where credit's due.
Just so you know, Justice, if you watch this, every top 10 that Tommy has something to do with Patriots lands number 1.
As it should.
Last week it was the Lawyer Malloy game when we signed it the week of.
Oh, dude, that was 31-0 or whatever. Yeah, it was dope. Yep. Mandy coming in. We love Travis. Yeah. By the way, Travis, he had his little run-ins. But from what I heard from Marcus Sullivan, because I interviewed him a while back, Travis is doing well, by the way, guys. So Travis is out. Yeah, he's doing a lot better in his personal life. So, kudos to him for changing everything.
He was a fantastic Buffalo Bill.
Oh,
really
dude,
was.
he was a good football player.
Yeah.
He was a very good running back in this league. He just had his problem,
Yeah.
Hey, there's another guy, Carlos Williams.
Listen, they're humans too. They
are 100%. And, you make mistakes. That's what it is. But guys, we went on here for 2 hours and 20 minutes. This is probably one of my longest shows ever, but it was well worth it. You guys, everyone that came in the chat, man, Mandy, Chewy, everybody, man, Ishmael, thank you so much, man. Scott, everybody, Justice, thank you so much.
Jason,
yeah, man, I appreciate everyone for sticking around. This was an awesome show, and like I said, guys,
Daniel
we have something.
Is always here.
Yeah,
Buffalo.
We have something.
Bills fan 1970.
Yep, and we have something big planned coming up for Buffalo fan base. We have something really unique and fun for all you guys, and so stay tuned. If you guys, like I said, go on Buffalo fan base Twitter, go on Tommy Talks Bills, Apex 006, Justice at Justice General. We will be announcing that soon. Look out for the trailer. And hey, one more thing, go Bills. And you guys have anything else to say?
Nope,
go Bills.
Go Bills.
All right, and you know what though? It's time for the most awesome ending to a channel. You know what that is, Mikey, right? The Bills,
Make me want to shout.
Go Bills, guys.
Go